Dead meme. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Snark Tank Podcast, episode whatever. I don't know. We've done a lot of these. I lose count after the first 100, I think. But we're back again. Just so you guys know, before we get into this, I hate to do this kind of like a rigmarole at the beginning of any podcast. It's why we don't normally talk about anything else going on until the end of the show. But we have a couple of extra episodes already on Patreon for you guys to check out. Those are exclusive. We have a God of War kind of spoiler cast. We have we documented our writing process for Radioactive, which I'm sure if you listen to the show and if you follow our YouTube channel or our Twitters, you have seen by now. And so we have the entire writing process of that recorded for those who are curious enough to check it out. There's going to be some extra fun stuff there as well going forward. We're doing one extra show a week, and it's really cool. But I want to start off. We're going to get into the Game of the Year stuff, the Game Awards, because a lot of like ridiculous shit went down. In addition to just like how the award ceremony went in general. But first, I want to ask you guys how you're. Specifically, Sweeney, how you're feeling now that you're a music artist.
Stop. This is. Look, man. This is gonna be my. I've recorded music before, right? I've recorded dumbass mixtapes before, right? And they never saw the light of day because they were horrible. Now, looking back, I should have just released it because I released a gay parody of Radioactive. So it's very jarring that people maybe in the future are going to be like, yo, you know what song slaps? Sween's verse on Radioactive. on
Radioactive. Did you have
it? Where bananas, bro?
Because you did like I was listening to it and I was like, where is he? Like, where's Kingston? I didn't realize that, like, I mean Derek would know.
Yeah, Kingston is, well, you can, if you listen, especially on the first part of the verse, I duetted us. I wanted Sweeney, because Sweeney's voice is very low, so he's very baritone.
Yeah.
And if you have, like, especially if you have on headphones, you can hear the bass, particularly in the chorus. If I would have had more time to do it, I would have mixed it a little bit better to bring them up just a little bit more and put a little bit more bass.
I think the mixing sounds. I think the mixing sounds great. I was just like, it sounds so good. It's funny how good it's because there are so many people who were messaging us. I was like, yo, that chorus goes harder than the original song, and it does, by the way, which is embarrassing.
It kind of does.
And let me tell you something. It's not hard. It is not hard to make that chorus go harder than they do. It is not difficult at all.
Yeah,
the fact that we did that, like, it is unironically a way better song than Radioactive.
Stop.
It is.
It is.
I like it.
It is,
a lot
but it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
I'm going to tell
true.
you, I've never listened to the song Radioactive all the way through ever. Because even if I caught it in passing, it would just be I don't know. I'm in a store or something.
Yeah, you're not paying
heard
attention
a piece of it or whatever. I'm not paying attention. Yeah. So this was, okay, just to make sure the song, we got the lyrics down and everything and the melody. That's the only time. But I've listened to Radioactive probably like 10 times. Like I've listened to it like back and forth, like quite a few times. Just really being like, this is. I was talking to JoJo and I was like, is this too good? Like, is this like? It's maybe it kind of makes it less funny that there's too much like quality into it. I don't know.
Nah, it's
because
great,
I saw a lot of comments that were like, what makes this even funnier is that it is better produced than the original song. Like, people are fucking laughing up a storm.
Fucking rude. That's so rude. It's like, yeah, they did a better job overall. Like, yeah, they just did a better job than you guys did.
When
the Snark Tank podcast.
When that I'm fucking butt comes in, it is so, it slaps,
hits,
man.
Bro.
It slaps.
It's pretty
That
good.
shit hits. That's gonna be in my workout playlist, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking yeah. That was really cool. I like how easy it came together too, and how it is. Within an hour, we got it done, and then we just fucking did it, which also paves the way for some more scattered throughout time. You know, probably 2023. There might be a couple of them down the road. You never know.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh my god, I really want to make a gay covered a Pretty Young Thing.
Pretty Young Thing.
That's hard. That's a rough one.
That's a great song. So we're not gonna do better, but we will make it gay. You can do that. We can make it very gay.
Dude, man,
that's very
know,
true. Man. I don't know. I feel like whatever the vibe is, if something will hit us and we'll know, we will know. Like it'll. Yeah.
Oh my god, we should make enemies. You know how many times I said, "Oh, the enemies." Everybody wants to see my penis.
No. Leave Imagine Dragons alone.
How many times I've heard that? I've said that exact fucking bar. Just saying, man. We could just completely do a revamp of their whole entire discography.
I am not devoting myself to re-releasing every single Imagine Dragons song as a better version.
I mean, that's how you fix them, though. That's
it's not my responsibility. It's not my responsibility to fix them.
It's not your responsibility, but it's an ability you have.
It's not my responsibility to fix Imagine Dragons.
I want the singer to hear this song. I'm gonna find out his name, and because usually what I do whenever I do a cover of something like a regular one, not a gay one, I'll tag the artist afterwards, and I'll put those emoji eyes where it's like, hey, check this out, you know, kind of a thing. Hopefully that they may check it out. And I noticed that, and this kind of bugs me a little bit, that a lot of artists will see it, but they won't acknowledge it. And I remember one time when I got like official confirmation where I did a cover of System of a Down, and none of the members said anything, and I'm like, well, okay, whatever, same shit, you know, they didn't respond. But someone who I became friends with, is so stupid, Amber Rose, who has a kid with Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that weird shit, like where she sent it to Chavo, the basis of System, and then they were talking, and then like he was like, "Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I saw it, and that's pretty cool." And I'm like, "Why the fuck did you say anything to me, bitch? You can't just like even slap me a like,
Wait,
bro."
You were friends with Amber Rose, right? How did that happen again? How?
It's the stupidest thing. So the funny thing is, when I've been making music lately, I thought I want to get away from screams. I was like, I want to do less screams because I just want to focus on clean singing and kind of reach more people. But then I thought about it. I was like, that stupid fucking Mario Judah cover I did, where I'm literally it's just a cover of his song Die Very Rough, and I'm just screaming the entire time. That got to Azalea Banks. She somehow found that shit. And then when she posted on her story on Instagram, that's where Amber Rose found me, and then we were chit-chatting and stuff. And then she was like, "Oh, you should cover this." I kind of stopped talking to her after she wanted me to cover some Pearl Jam, like that song Black or whatever. I was like, "Bro, I don't do that."
Yeah.
I can't even do that voice.
I fucking hate,
Hey, guys,
Pearl Jam.
That wasn't even close.
I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
How do you hate? Okay, look. I understand not liking Pearl.
No
How
one
do you
hates
hate
Pearl
Jam?
Jam.
That's insane.
Because I don't know what he's saying.
Even Flow.
Yo, Even Flow's a good fucking song.
I listened to Pearl Jam so much just because of Joe. Just because of one of our friends. I didn't have a car, so every time we went somewhere,
he's a big fan of Pearl
he's
Jam.
a huge Pearl Jam fan. Of course he is.
No, I don't think he's a Pearl Jam guy. Like he'll put Pearl.
Absolutely a big Pearl Jam fan.
I don't think I've never heard Joe talk about Pearl Jam at all.
He's more Metallica than Pearl Jam. Yes.
Oh, okay.
No,
he's definitely a Pearl Jam fan.
He's a
huge Metallica fan.
He's a Guns N' Roses guy.
Metallica, like classic rock and hair metal. He's at all his shit.
Is it, guys? Let me ask you something. I don't know if I'm in the minority here, but does Axl Rose absolutely sound terrible to you? I don't know because
I don't know enough Axl Rose.
When I hear he's in Guns N' Roses, the singer of Guns N' Roses, when I hear anything, Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, when I hear those songs, the music sounds fine to me, but when I hear Axel, he sounds like a fucking bird to me. He sounds like a squawking bird that's trying to peck your eyes out.
He sounds like a
sweet child of mine.
He sounds like a.
That seems to me, and I'm like, when I hear it, I cringe.
I think it works well.
What is it?
I think it works well for the. But there's some crazy delay going on, but we'll work through it, I guess. But I think he sounds fine when he's paired with the music. You know what I mean? Like, I think it works well enough to the point where it's like, "Sweet Child of Mine" is a famous song, not just because the fucking guitar is cool and the music is good, but because I do think he does well with it. But it's kind of like AC/DC. Do you remember how I can't remember who it was. They took Angus Young's vocals off of like an AC/DC song and put it on like a traditional instrumental, and he sounds like a dying dog.
Bro,
and it is a terrible voice.
Do you watch Red Letter Media at all?
Of course, yeah.
You watch, okay, yeah. So there was a clip. I forgot which horror movie they were reviewing, but they started like it basically made him sound. He just went a little bit Smeagol with it, but it was like interchangeable. It was like, is this AC/DC or is this fucking Smeagol? And it was like, or what is his name? Gollum, right?
Yeah.
When he's like, yeah, precious or whatever, and he's doing the what is it? Shook Me All Night Long, and it's if you just look that up, Red Letter Media Shook Me All. It's the funniest fucking clip because it's so funny.
Yo, it's funny that you
it's
funny that you mentioned Red Letter Media because like right now I'm playing this game, High on Life. It's called High on Life. It's Justin Roiland's new game, the creator of Rick and Morty. Obviously, like a lot of animations throughout the years as well.
Yeah.
He put out this game called High on Life, and in the game, like it's totally optional. You might not even see it, but like you can get this like you can warp to a movie theater, and in the movie theater, a movie is playing, and in the front row, there's like 3 aliens, and they're sitting and they're like making fun of the movie, and it's them. It's Red Letter Media. They got the guys from Red Letter Media
God, that's pretty funny.
To make fun of this movie just for and you can sit through the entire fucking thing. You can watch all of this like obscure 90s movie, like the whole hour and fucking 30 minutes with their commentary in the movie. It is in the movie. There's several movies in that game too that you could just sit in your living room and watch. I think Tammy and the T-Rex, which has like it's a real 90s movie with like oh my god, I think Paul Walker is in it, obviously pre-Crash. But I think where the
why did you say that?
And the T. Oh, is it too soon?
What?
Rex.
Just let Corpse Walker rest. All right.
What is wrong with y'all?
Tammy and the T-Rex.
Obviously, the wall's not in the movie. It's him, not the wall.
Denise Richards. That was the name that I couldn't remember. But it's a real movie from December of 1994, and the whole movie is in that game.
Is she the girl from Look Who's Talking?
I don't know. I just know that name is famous. Denise Richards.
Yeah, why do I know that? Is that her name? Is that the girl from Look Who's Talking? Why do I care so much?
I don't know. I don't even know. Like
Denise Richards. Denise Richards was in 2.5 Men. She was in Blue Lagoon Awakening. The Real Housewives.
It's Christy Alley.
She died recently.
Oh, didn't Christy Alley just die?
Yeah, she died.
No way.
Yeah, she just died like a week ago.
She died. Oh my god.
Why is that? Why? What?
I don't know. I've seen Look Who's Talking so many times that like I care a little bit about this.
I just found out that actually this is disrespectful. I forgot her name, but she's the chick that sang in the movie Grease. She was the main chick. She played Sandy. She died like 4 months ago.
Yeah, she passed away too.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and the only reason because I brought this movie got indoctrinated to me because I live with 4 stepsisters and they would watch Grease all the fucking time to the point where dude. I am a grown ass man and I'm like that fucking soundtrack like is fire. I'm like it's fire, and then I'm just like I don't think any other male agrees with me. And
You think Grease's soundtrack is Look, I've seen Grease more times than I'm gonna admit out loud.
Frankie Valli, fucking Grease is the word. That's a fucking great track, man. That's just pure.
You revealing shit about yourself. Continue. I want to hear this.
Hopelessly Devoted is an amazing ballad where she's just simping over John Travolta or whatever the hell whatever his name is in the fucking thing. I don't remember right now. Beauty School Dropout. Come on, that shit goes hard.
Yo,
yeah, dude, continue. Word, dude.
But yeah, my girl, she died. You know, I was like, damn, that was my girl. And now I was like, how can I turn this into a gay cover? I thought about that shit.
Grease Lightning. you can do that shit in your sleep.
Grease Lightning. The words don't even need to be changed. That shit's
for
gay
real.
already,
No,
dude.
that movie is it's heavily argued, like dead ass. That movie's about homosexuality. Like that's a huge argument made by people.
I would not be.
And I'm just like, I guess I'm not gonna fight this enough.
I mean, it's kind of like the whole dude. Okay, so what do you guys think about? Because I keep seeing more people believe the trans allegory with the Matrix. I think we talked about this before, but I was just like, I think that shit was retconned in later. But I'm seeing more and more people see validity to it.
Wait a minute, what are we talking? What are we talking about? Wait 1 second. The trans allegory for what movie?
The Matrix.
Oh man!
You ever heard of this?
This is I can't.
Did we talk about this?
It's a little embarrassing that you're laughing at it because that's a really popular. That's like a really big thing for a long time.
I'm sorry to laugh at it.
I'm
I don't
surprised
mean
that you. It's not about this. I'm just surprised that you were laughing at it as if it's like earth shattering to you because this is very old, like the trans allegory for the Matrix.
I didn't know.
The
did the
director.
Wachowskis, like how? When is the earliest did they talk? Because I feel like it hadn't been. Because I feel like was it hidden and then they didn't want to reveal? I don't hear that language from the Wachowskis. I haven't heard that language we just never wanted to say anything before.
I don't know, but the Matrix. I mean, do you know anything? Let me ask you something. Let me ask Sweeney something. Just who directed the Matrix?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Never
mind.
The
Wachowskis.
Yeah.
I'm aware it's them, but I don't know anything about the mother they made the Matrix. That's it.
Look, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Yeah.
Now, right. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, they transitioned both of the director.
Yeah.
They both did.
I didn't know. That's lost on me. I didn't even know that.
Well, that makes sense.
Crazy.
Okay, yeah, that's why. Like, okay, maybe
you thought I was just insensitive. I was an insensitive asshole. It's like, what? That's impossible. No, I'm just saying no.
Well, here's my thing. Like, it's totally it is totally plausible to me. It is totally plausible to me. I just wonder. If it, because it's one of those things where, like, I was surprised that George Lucas didn't lie and said that, yes, I planned out that Jar Binks actually is a Sith Lord, because if you look at the bullshit
there's a lot
theories,
of evidence.
They kind of line up. Like, it's weird how plausible
evidence.
it is. It's weird. Where I'm the person that's usually like, bullshit.
And the first two things line up way too much.
And then he didn't take credit for it. He's like, nah.
But Tungans, and that's what they're named, but they can't use the Force. That's the thing. That's the reason why that doesn't make sense. But things line up too much in that scenario.
But why can't they?
That's their species. They can't manipulate the Force. They're in tune with it, but they can't manipulate it. That's just their rule. I don't know why.
Yeah, I get it. That's stupid. But yeah, it's just wild how well it would. If I were George Lucas, for example, I would have went like, yes.
I read a script. I read a script where it's so funny. It was really funny. When I turned into it was a script at the end of what you call of Clone Wars. There's like an alternate script where like Anakin stops. Anakin doesn't kill anybody. Well, he kills the younglings, but then he stops. Him and Obi-Wan stop Sidious, and they capture Sidious. No, they capture Anakin. They have him locked up, and then Jar Binks comes to his cell with like glowing red eyes and frees him, and he's like, "You've done well, my apprentice." And I'm like, "What the fuck? What the fuck has been Jar Binks?" And then his name would be Dark Sidious.
Dark Sidious. That's so damn
you're goofier
dumb.
than George Lucas. George Lucas would have stamped that. If
have
you would have
like,
brought that to George
yeah.
Lucas and be like, "That's great. That's fucking amazing."
That's great. You want $1 billion? You want $1 billion? It's like, yeah, I guess I'll take that.
Dude,
I think that'll
That's
survive.
so funny.
The-
That's so funny. Silliest.
That's so funny, silly ass. That's not even George Lucas.
That's
not even an
somebody
impression.
else.
It's just so fucking.
It's fucking me, George Lucas. Fucking, I love your silliest idea. I'm gonna. It's like it's like a 1940s New York, a newspaper guy. It's such an insane.
A New York, a corner New Yorker. That's all he is.
Hey,
Yeah.
you, look at me. I'm George Lucas over here.
You, look at me.
Do you think there's
you
ever been a
over
point
there.
in time? Do you think there's ever been a point in time where George Lucas has said the words "a yo" or "a you"?
AU maybe, but not AO.
No way. I don't
Maybe
say.
he
I
has
never
the,
said
maybe-
AO
He
once.
Maybe he
does not
speaks in
say
code, like-
AU.
He said AU, but never AO. He said AU. I'm sure.
He
I'll
has not.
fight
He
for
has not
that
said.
one.
He has not said AU.
You think he's ever said the N word?
Yes.
George
Probably.
Lucas ever
He's a
dropped the-
white man.
I bet it was. I bet it was under this. I bet it was under this context too. I was like, now is there a word like the N word for these creatures in this part of town? Like, is there like an N word equivalent for the Jawas, for say? Like, is that something that we should
Oh yeah,
consider?
it's easy. I'll
That's
frick.
that. No, but that's what I mean. It's like that's that conversation. And he's definitely said it. Like,
I
is there
feel
a-
like Jawa is their N word. I feel like Jawa is their N word. I feel like that's not what they're called. But I feel like people call them Jawas. There's such a little amount of respect for that race of people, so everyone calls them Jawas.
that would be interesting.
It's like how people call Romani, instead of calling them Romanis, everybody calls them Gypsies. And it's so disrespectful because they're Romani people, but everybody just calls them Gypsy, and it's like,
That is kind of
that's
wild.
so disrespectful. That's so rude that
Yeah,
everyone calls them that.
Even the colloquialism of getting gypped is apparently like comes
Even
from that.
like historians that understand the context still call them that, you know? It's like no one's just tried to better their language involving that.
Oh my god.
Like,
Have you seen?
Go ahead.
Because this just brought up something like it's on my mind today for whatever reason. But have you seen this
Let's
show
hear it.
called this show on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse?
no. I heard you told me about it, but I never seen it.
It's fucking nuts. It's this guy he's been around for a while. I can't remember the guy's name. Graham Hancock, I think his name is. He's just some journalist slash like astronomer dude, and he just basically goes to these like really old. I'm not gonna get super into it, but like his whole thing is like he thinks that there was like way more civilization before the Ice Age, which is like kind of like flies in the face of like a lot of archaeology, which states that like hunter-gatherer civilization started way after. But it's like some of the shit he brings up is nuts and has me like, and not in like a this guy's insane way. It's like it's stuff
I know
like
who this guy is. He's he's been on Joe Rogan like a bunch of times.
Dude, I've been watching this show and I'm like, I'm starting to feel crazy because none of it doesn't make sense. Like it's weird.
Is he like an old white guy? Is he like an old white guy?
Of course,
Did they show the guy?
Yeah.
Well, I know, of course, but I mean, he could like beard old motherfucker.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
No, I'm sure you've got the right guy. Like I'm sure he's been on Joe
course,
Rogan.
he cares
I just
about
want
history.
to make sure.
Yeah,
There's no young people that care about history, bro.
yeah. That's kind of the thing too.
That doesn't exist. That
But he
doesn't
goes
exist,
to
bro.
these.
That's
But
not
he, but he go, and I'm curious to hear what the audience thinks about it too, because it's so fucking fascinating. Because he goes to these like old sites that are supposedly like however old they are, it's like they're at a very primitive stage, and then he like does like radar, like sonar mapping of like the underground, and there's like fucking chambers like hundreds of feet below, like man-made fucking chambers, and it's like, how the fuck did they do this? It's fucking insane. Like it's nuts.
I gotta say something about, because I'm really fascinated about civilization, because the consensus for a long time was always that humans are about 250,000, 300,000 years old.
Yeah.
Is that
Say
current
Homo
humans or is that
sapiens.
okay? Homo sapiens. Gotcha. Okay, got it.
So and this is always, and it comes down to politics, because it's been contested so many times. They keep finding fucking footprints that are so much older. And people always ask, well, why aren't things being updated? And they say it's just, well, it's politics. There's a lot of people that discovered a lot of stuff, and then they don't want their credibility to be shattered. And it's not, because that's the natural progression of science, right? Things are supposed to progress, but there's some people that just want to hold on to these titles, their discoveries, and they're actually fucking with science and discovery. It is really fucked up.
Dude, that's exactly what the show's about, because he's like, the whole show is like, I don't even know if I'm right, but we should, like, there's stuff here clearly that, like, we've not taken into account, and we should excavate this shit because that's interesting and we could learn more. And then, like, a lot of archaeologists are like, no, let's not do that. And that to me is fucking crazy.
My guess is that they found some shit. They found some fuckery, some fucking duckery, and they're like, let's just stop here. And this guy's like, no, we gotta find out. And he's gonna find the truth, and some bad shit's gonna happen, bro. There's gonna be some fucking Dragon Age shit where the fucking world ends and then magic shows up, or Witcher shit. We gotta deal with fucking elves and dwarves and shit, man.
You know what's weird? Like, so Joe Rogan, for example, will have on, like, some people like this Graham dude, and will have very, like, plausible and really, really interesting stuff. But then he'll bring on some other guys that make me question the guy we just mentioned, only because I'm like, Joe brought on some people that are in the Air Force or that work with, like, in NASA or something like that. And then some of the shit they said is so fucking wild that I'm like, all right, wait a minute. Because they were talking about, there are facilities where we're studying artifacts that don't obey the laws of physics as we know them. And I'm just like, all right, I can't believe this motherfucker. It's pissing me off.
once it gets into that, but the thing that's so convincing about this show specifically is that it never crosses the territory into that weird shit. Like, it never goes into like, like, he thinks there was, like, an advanced ancient civilization before the Ice Age, but when he says advanced, he doesn't mean, like, they had, like, MacBooks and shit. He's talking about, like, they could build, like, really fucking elaborate structures, and, like, it's clearly not something that's associated with hunter-gatherer society. So that brings a lot of things into question.
I believe it.
And it makes a ton of, like...
I believe it.
And the whole show, he's, like, just, like, again, like, this is... We don't know what's true or not, but, like, there's so much stuff under here that people refuse to look into, that it's weird that they don't want to do that. And that's the whole show. It's just like, why don't people want to why wouldn't, if your entire career is archaeology, like, why wouldn't you be excited at the prospect of new shit to discover? Like, that blows my mind, because to me, I look at it and I'm like, that's exciting to me, and I don't give a shit. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it shows you that these people, there are people in every genre of every type of job or whatever that are seeking glory and accolades, and they're not just focused on the task at hand, which fucking sucks. It's so frustrating as, like, a normal people like us that could find something really fascinating in these huge breakthroughs, and then it has to jump through fucking political hoops, and you're like, yo, this is crazy. Like, this is all supposed to be in the name of fucking science, and they have these people that are jerking each other off and being like, I'm great, I'm the best.
It's insane because the politics you assume in science, a place where it's about advancements, but in its nature, you would assume there'd be none of that. You would assume there'd be none of that. But even there, where it's like, it's the same cock and bull fucking dick story. Right. But while we're looking this up, what's craziest thing? I went to Chichen Itza like 3 years ago when I went to Mexico, and do you know that there are pyramids in the U.S.?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I don't know where. I don't know.
There's one in Illinois. I think it's Illinois.
Yeah.
Is it Illinois?
Yeah, there are
Monk Mound.
The mounds. He talks about the mounds too. They're in Ohio and
Yeah, I know the mounds. Okay, I know what you're talking about. I know that.
Yeah.
But not like specific. I thought you were talking about like Aztec or Egyptian.
No,
but they're similar in structure and design.
Yeah, they're man-made.
To the ones in Mexico. Not exactly the same. The ones in Mexico are more block shaped. The ones in Egypt are so clean. The ones in Egypt are so clean and well designed that it's hard to believe people made them. That's why people say aliens.
Yeah, aliens did it.
Yeah, you see, that's the shit that's like, that's out of pocket. Like that gets, it's like, why would aliens do that? It's such a dumb. I mean, maybe. Well, like, who the fuck knows?
It doesn't even need to be aliens. Think about it. Think about the average person right now. Person right now. Think about this. The average person right now has no fucking idea how to make a camera, for example.
Right.
Like if you needed to just make a camera, let's break it down even, because one thing you need with a mirror, right? The average person doesn't know how to make a mirror, and so when we start like if a civilization gets wiped out, which is speculated, and then you stumble upon shit and you're like, how the fuck did they do this?
Well,
that's exactly what happened to us.
It's very simple why they said it was aliens. It's kind of fucked, but Europeans found it. Europeans couldn't believe that people that from this savage land did something so impressive. So they were like, "Oh, it had to have been people from another planet, advanced civilizations."
Well, that's like the ancient alien thing is pretty modern. That's not like I don't think it's ever been written
aliens. I'm talking about the people that discovered it first. People that came, they were like, "How the fuck did these people that are fucking they don't got clothes on and no shoes on
the
do
people
something
that
like
came,
this?"
Yeah, but the people that came to Egypt, the people that came to Egypt weren't like it must have been aliens. They were just like, oh, it must have been an ancient civilization.
Yeah, and I don't think,
no, they weren't. No, they were like it had to be someone else.
They didn't say it was fucking aliens, Sweeney. That's not historically accurate.
No, it's not historically accurate, but they don't. That's why it's argued scientifically that it doesn't make sense. It's because one civilization found it, and they were like they couldn't because most of the time. Okay, let's hear your piece.
There are modern day scientists that are still not 100% in agreement how it was done with modern day technology. It's not about like say old civilizations being I don't understand how this works because North African and Middle Eastern cultures like
there
Persians,
there was several commerce with each other. Yes,
advancements in technology. I mean, fucking algebra, all this blah 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 blah. I don't need to get into all that shit.
I'm aware.
They've always been proven to be the Mediterranean. All that shit have always been proven to be very advanced civilizations. I mean, like that's never been. I don't think the white people was ever in dispute about that shit. By going to this stuff and seeing all this impressive stuff, impressive sword work, just a lot of shit like that. And then going forward, I would say, well, like Chris was saying, since modern day scientists couldn't agree and come into a consensus of how the shit was made, then you had people just saying, well, it must be aliens. Like, because they were like...
sorry, that's what I was trying to infer. My apologies. I wasn't saying correctly. I was trying to infer that thing exactly. We're just like, how'd they do this? It had to have been magic. It's like, no.
Yeah, basically.
It's not magic. It's just people did this.
There's this song that everybody needs to listen to. It's called End of Days by Vinny Paz. Vinny Paz was the Jedi Mind Tricks. It's the stupidest song ever because he's just like, and if anyone knows Vinny Paz, because he just sounds like a gremlin. He's like, I'm from Philly. And he's like, I'm from Philly, Morty. He kind of sounds like that a little bit. But he talks about conspiracy theories like he knows about skeletons on the moon, and he doesn't elaborate. I'm like, wait, what kind of skeletons? Aliens? Wait, what does he mean by this? Like, he doesn't elaborate.
I know about the skeleton. And then he says, terrifying to hear no one tells you about it.
He says, I know Barack Hussein Obama was cloned in a test tube. Like he's serious. This is a song that he's serious about. He knows about the Black Pope and Solomon's Temple. He knows about all of the shit. He knows about the chemicals that they put everywhere. It's a fucking entertaining song. I promise you guys won't be disappointed with it.
Bro, history is wild, man. Like, history sucks because it's like a dumbass, boring class that if you don't care about it, if you don't care about history, learning it and not learning it give you the same benefit, you know? Like, you're in the same place you were at the end of the day if you don't care about it, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the problem with history. Like, it's an important class. I think people should learn it. But if you don't care about it, you will get zero out of it. You'll get nothing out of it. And that's a huge problem.
I was never that into U.S. history. Like, I just didn't care about U.S. history really at all. Like, U.S. history
is boring. There's only a few hundred years.
Yeah, exactly.
I care about U.S. history, but only because it's important to me to know about U.S. history because of being like being a descendant of like the diaspora. That's why I cared about.
No, I mean, I think that. I
understand why.
No, I get that it's important, but it's still boring.
Yeah, it's very boring.
It's just not enough time has passed for.
It's boring in comparison to like just the history of the world in general, like or even just like in my opinion, just like the history of like different mythologies and stuff like that. Like that to me is way fucking super. And the thing that like again in this show too, where they talk about it's like why does every single culture have this fucking story about a flood in their like religions, even though they had no contact with each other and they're all dated from around the same period of time.
It's very popular.
It's fucking nuts. And they all have like this similar stories about like people who like come like on boat and like kind of teach them how to build shit. And it's just fucking weird. And the premise of the show is just like there might be like a really like long forgotten like a really important missing chapter in the story of like human civilization, and that's fucking insane that we lost all that shit. Probably to flooding and like rising sea levels and shit. Like there's maps. There's maps.
I wonder how much stuff is like. Go ahead.
This is my theory, right? This is my theory, right?
All right.
It sounds crazy. But you gotta give me it, and it's actually not that crazy. But I'm pretty sure what happened was Polynesians. They had boats for very long, thousands of years before other countries were found. They have boats in evidence of that. I'm pretty sure they sailed down to the Caribbean. That's why ancient Mesopotamian people look sort of like Hawaiian people. And then what happened is they continued to sail. That's how the original native people got into the Americas, is because they're Polynesians. Mark my word, bro.
Well, I know how what Native Americans are. It's actually because if you see a lot of to kind of link to your point a little bit, if you look at say a lot of Asians that live in say
near the
Serbia.
islands. Yeah.
That live in Serbia and stuff. And they live in, or not Serbia. They live in the really coldest parts of Russia, like the Siberian like places that it's just ice. It's just a hellhole. It's just hell in Norse mythology.
Talking about the Landsbridge shit. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Well, so I'm getting at, yeah. So obviously, in Russia, in those parts of Russia where all those Asian type people were living there, and there was the connection between Russia and Alaska.
Yeah.
And then obviously just the migration from there. That's just where it started.
Well, there's also...
And then they just kept going further south and further south.
What fascinates me about that, too, is, like, there's, like... Because in the show, they go over, like, maps and shit. And, like, how, like... look at this old map of, like, South America. And South America is drawn, like, really weird. It's, like... It's like, really, really long, right? And it's, like, fucking nuts. And it's... It seems to draw... Antarctica, like way before Antarctica was actually like discovered. Like there's like a really old fucking map that was drawn that has South America connecting to like what it appears to be Antarctica. And it's like that's not fucking. And science is like they just drew it wrong and silly, but it's like
it's so weird thinking about the planet pre. Like ancient cartographers like drawing like land map, because like they're not gonna like you can't fly up unless they had like giant eagles or some shit. They got on the back of the eagle like, all right, let me draw this landmass, like the idea of like the world without like, because Pangea was all one giant landmass at one time. So that means that it was just one landmass and a ton of water surrounding it, with like little tiny, little spires of land coming out of it in small islands.
Well, that's the thing.
It's weird to imagine the look of the planet at that time.
Yeah, the planet is all like we are all one solid block of land. Like it's not like I remember when I was like really really little, like when I was like maybe like 4, and I thought that islands or like land masses like were like floating above the surface or something. But like that's
not that, but like the idea of like them
I know
being,
that
like,
you're
one,
not saying
like
that.
one immediate connection.
Right. But like what I'm saying is like it would make
weird to think of it.
But what I'm saying is like it would make sense for like after a fucking large flood that something that would connect South America to fucking Antarctica would be gone.
Atlantis.
And that's fucking
Atlantis.
Well, that is the general idea. Is like that's what mythological Atlantis would be like, and it was just like it's underwater. It's underwater now, and then people were like, it's an underwater city where people lived underwater, and it's like no, it's a city that's underwater now. It's
a city that's sunk.
It's gone. They got
like
the
cities,
water ate it.
Yeah, cities have been built on the coast forever, so it would make sense that those would sink first. But
imagine like a bad earthquake and a piece of land just.
Dude, that'd be fucking scary.
Just look at like how
I don't mean
in North Africa, right?
Yeah. It's not like I don't mean to I don't mean to get too deep into it. It's just a really fucking fascinating show, and I'm just like really.
This is just interesting conversation in general, because it's like thinking of how the world was so different. Because like we're modern people, and then we're like also young. So thinking about how different the world was not very long, because isn't a planet like near 13 million years old or something like that? Billion maybe? I don't know which number it is. It's like 13 billion, right? 13.4 billion?
I think I think you're thinking of I think I don't want to sound stupid. I think the universe is closer to 14 billion. I don't think the Earth is that old.
What?
I think the Earth is probably like 4 billion years old or something.
Really?
Let's
Yeah, no,
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right on it.
Yeah.
You are
4
right.
billion years old, and the universe is about what you call about 14 billion.
Yeah, I've been obsessed with astronomy since I was. My mom had this little tiny booklet, and then I remember when they first sent off the I forgot the Voyager or which I can't remember which one it was that was like, oh, this shit's gonna make it to fucking we're gonna get some decent pictures of Pluto and stuff, and then at this point it's finally gonna make it and all this shit, and it's gonna go past it. And it's like crazy to be living now, and that's where that fucking that thing is. Like it's past Pluto, and it's taking pictures of these asteroids and like that look all fucking weird. And I'm like,
It's past
and
our
they talk
universe.
About, they talk
insane.
about to get fucking to get pictures. It like uploads at like 2, I forgot what it was, 2 megabytes per hour. I forgot. It was something where it's like it's gonna take 2 years to get the information just from like a one set of photos or something because of how far away it is. Like but the fact that they can even do that is fucking mind blowing to me.
It's almost magical. Like that shit's like what?
It's
because
if you don't understand it, it basically is magic.
The idea. Because I remember I did that whole stupid conversation about the like sending trash to space with Chris, and I took an astro class and took like a astrology class, and I paid attention to it. And
astronomy.
Yeah.
You said
Not
astrology.
astrophysics, astronomy.
No, you said astrology.
I said astro.
Oh, you said that. You said that.
I meant to say astro. My bad.
Yeah.
And I sat down in that
Just wanted to
class,
save
and
you.
I was just like, what the fuck? Because like the study of like the fact that like astrology is so incorrect because of the fact that the stars and everything's constantly moving. So what we say we are technically is not true anymore.
That pisses me off so much.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't-
not
isn't
true
there-
anymore.
Much.
Isn't there also like a 13th sign that like apparently like is
There
is
is.
just it's like Ophiuchus, I think, or something?
Ophiuchus, something like this.
It's something like that, but like it's there's a 13th sign that like we threw like astrologists like threw away because it's like 13's like it's inconvenient for the
Bad
calendar.
number.
Unlucky.
It's
So
either
unlucky,
it's
yeah.
either unlucky
Hey,
or it's inconvenient for the calendar. I can't remember what the reason was, but it's like it's hilarious. Like everything is
probably
off.
the
Probably
inconvenience
both.
more.
That's
now,
insane.
Speaking
That
of
blew my
astrology,
mind, dude.
I want to show you guys a tweet that I came across the other day. So this girl says this: girls should bring up astrology on the first date.
Yes.
Not because it's an inaccurate measure
Yes,
of
you should.
compatibility, but it self-identifies men who are arrogant, condescending, and incapable of entertaining opinions they disagree with. What do you think of that take?
That is, no, look. I hate to agree with her, but someone liking astrology, someone just being interested in it should not be a deal breaker. Just now, this is me not aside from being like having the bit being the joke.
Look, what's the
I
difference
would
between
not
astrology and flat Earth, for example?
Flat Earth. Well, one is the idea. Like if someone, my brain. Someone that could be like, this is hilarious, the idea of someone thinking it and like looking into it, but this is wild and understanding that it's silly. Because some people just enjoy the idea of the silliness of it. Like my girlfriend, for instance, she is extremely educated, but she thinks just the idea of astrology is fucking funny.
Well, it's fine if it's funny, but it's
So she
just like,
looks
do
into
you
it and she
believe in
laughs,
it?
right? Oh, no, well, I don't do... No, not that somebody believes in it, but I would like to talk to someone that really believes in it and try to conversate with them and be like, why do you really believe in this?
So look, I will say this.
Because I'm too busy insulting them before I can talk to them.
I brought up like what's the difference between that and flat Earth, because I would say that actually astrology is more harmful because the people that believe in flat Earth, they're not doing anything to dictate their lives by it. But there are people that read these fucking horoscopes and they're trying to, and then they actually believe, oh yeah, I am quirky like this fucking thing says. They actually try to emulate what these things are telling them, and I feel like it's fucking crazy.
I feel like it's
Crazier
crazy,
than
but
believing the
it's
Earth
not-
is flat because these
You
people
know,
aren't.
I'm gonna-
what
you
do
know,
you
I'm-
do with that information?
I'm going to say something. Maybe I think astrology is only, and I really believe this. I think the reason why astrology is so fucking common is because it's like a type of bigotry that is exclusively female. And like no one wants to like no one wants to like tell them what to do or anything because it's like, oh well, they should have something. And it's like, no, it's I've met people who like write off people entirely and they judge people. They judge people seriously. Like since like it's not a meme. It's not a meme. They think it's a meme. They're just like, oh, I think it's fun, but they believe it. Like they believe it for real, and they'll make it your problem that they believe it. And it's wild to me that is just accepted.
I don't date Pisces.
Yeah, and it's accepted.
You're a Taurus.
No, but it's accepted, and I think it's only like if men were doing that, no fucking way. Like no fucking way.
You gotta hey yo.
No,
hey, that's
for real
shit.
I'm not joking.
Hey, brethren, whoa.
That's not even like an offensive. This right here. No, you see this right here. What Sweeney's doing? He proved it just now.
Yeah,
that is exactly what it is. There is nothing that I'm saying that is even remotely problematic at all. Like I am literally just saying there's no way. Like if men were going around, it's like, oh man, sorry, you were born the wrong month. That means you're kind of like. Oof.
I mean, you're kind of a whore. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Oh, you're
misogynist.
You're a fucking Pisces, so you're a slut. Like, no way.
Like, I'm gonna go for all Pisces all the time.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Go.
If someone calls me a misogynist, bro, I'm gonna be like, all right, well,
you're gonna slap him.
I'm gonna be like, oh, that's crazy. I'm just gonna vote for you not to have the rights for your body. Like that's it. Like I'm just gonna vote. So now, when you look back and you're like, dang, I gotta go to New York to get an abortion. I'm like, haha, you started that.
that's wild. That's out of pocket.
No, it's not.
That's out of pocket.
No, it's not. Not at all. Not at all. They started. They swung first. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. America taught me a very valuable lesson after Pearl Harbor, right?
Whoa,
sometimes you have to overreact after you get hit. Sometimes you got to swing back way harder.
That's right. Sweno mode right now.
Hey, that's
God
me.
Damn.
This is fuck out of here. They want to blow up. They want to blow up one base site.
I really
say
feel
bye to
way.
that city for me, bro. Peel those shadows off the wall, my guy.
Hey, shout out to the Japanese for not fucking tripping on that shit, though.
Not tripping, bro. They started it. I'm kidding. I'm done. The
people in Hiroshima and Nagasaki did not start it. Okay, but
no, they did. But look, the argument is this, right? They didn't start it, right? But what happened if we did that to Tokyo? That country would not be here anymore. It would have just fell apart.
That would have been
like, well,
so crazy, dude. And
that would have been
have PS5.
That'd be it. It would be a different world we live in. Men would be more manly though, because there'd be no anime. There'd be different kinds of men.
No anime.
Holy shit.
There'd be no PlayStation.
There'd be no Nintendo.
If we bombed,
there'd be no Japan.
If we bombed Tokyo, no Ape Escape.
God,
yeah, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
You go to that timeline. That timeline's different, bro.
This delay is fucked, by the way. But I think
no Ryu, no Street Fighter. That'd be crazy. What the fuck would the fighting?
Where'd I get my hentai from? I mean, where would I get my anime from?
Dude, shout out to Japan, man. They like.
I guess
there is so much.
They bounce back,
you gotta
bro.
shout them out because imagine. Look at how I don't know one, and I'm sure they exist, but I have not even seen an underground like, oh, we got to get the Americans back for fucking us that hard, because we would be like that.
Americans would. No, Derek, that's very real.
What we got?
That's very real. That's a very real. Like there are people who like in Japan.
Personally, I just haven't seen it. Personally, I just haven't seen it.
Of course. Well,
in Japan, they exist probably.
We
I don't
wouldn't.
even mean no. I mean like even an online presence or anything. I just haven't like. Now, granted, I haven't gone on my way to look for it, but it's not like say how wherever I look, there's people talking about how cool Hitler is and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like there's like. There is, you go, like, popping up, it's trending about something, and Ye and Fuentes now are having butt sex and talking about how much they love Hitler and shit. Like, I don't see that for, like, the Axis, the Japan Axis.
Because they got beat so thoroughly. Listen. Why.
Oh, this delay is really pissing. It's so bad. I think what's happening is, because what happened is that there are a lot of people, it's not uncommon in Japan to find people who just don't think Pearl Harbor happened. Like that, just like
Really?
I didn't.
Yeah,
even
for real.
I never
For
even
real.
thought about
yeah,
that.
like they just don't like. I mean, obviously it's not everywhere. Like Japan's like not a fucking. It's not like China where they're like suppressing information. But like generally speaking, like there are decent. You could liken it kind of like to the south.
Fascinating.
You could liken it kind of like to the south here, where there are places in Japan where like they just don't. Either they don't think Pearl Harbor happened the way that we think it did, or that Pearl happened, or Pearl Harbor was not something that really I can't remember exactly what the
Warranted?
belief system was.
That's fucking interesting. But I guess it's on the same line as like what actually happened in Vietnam, where the Gulf of Tonkin incident is not real.
That's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
That's
a
I
great-
never even considered that.
Yeah.
My entire life, I've never considered that there's people that thought Pearl Harbor didn't happen. I never
Well,
even considered that.
the thing is this,
Interesting.
right? When you
Well,
think about the idea
I
of
just
Pearl
want to
Harbor,
just to give context to it. I learned this purely because I had a friend in I think it was 8th grade who was Japanese, and his dad was like native born Japanese, and he told me like, yeah, I didn't know any of that because like my dad still thinks it didn't happen, and I'm like, well, that's nuts. That's interesting.
Oh, that's fucking.
But that's how I learned
wild.
about that. I don't want to.
God.
I don't want to say that that's like. I'm not going to estimate
Common,
how.
yeah.
I'm not going to estimate
that is
how
so
common that is.
fascinating.
But the fact that that's real at all is
But it's common enough
interesting.
that you came across it. That is crazy. I didn't
Right,
even-
yeah,
What-
yeah.
I
what
didn't
makes
even
it-
know that
what
that
makes
was
it
like
insane for me
wow.
is that like Pearl Harbor is such a turning Pearl Harbor is such a turning point in human history. You know, like that is the day that humanity changed. You know, so the idea of not believing that is just like, well, no, it is. It's the day that
I'll roll it back. Look, keep going. I don't want to fuck you up your track.
Yeah,
No,
we're
no. What
sidetracking.
would you say? Would you say that isn't the moment where the world changed? If after
I would say
the drop of the bombs.
I would say, the drop. Well, the drop of the bombs is when we entered a new era. Definitely 100%.
Yeah.
But I would say something where things really truly changed was actually the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, because that's really
Well,
what
the initiation.
led to
Okay, yes,
the
you're right.
World War One, the Great
Yes.
War, that really ramped up chemical warfare. Which, like, okay, things just aren't the same anymore. Like it really, there's no going back after
and
this.
you wouldn't say the initiation of the Manhattan Project into the dropping of the nukes wasn't a moment
So I would
equally as
say
insane?
that's another advancement. I would
Okay.
say it led us the Great War led us to, like, there is no turning back at this point. Now all we're worried about is advancing weaponry is as fast as possible. Like, because we weren't so bothered with fucking gassing people and making guns shoot as many bullets as possible, making our planes so fucking excellent to having like all these stealth bombers just a few decades later. After, like, things were slowly progressing and people were still carrying swords and shit. They were still using sabers before that, and then they just fucked this
that's
stuff.
true. Well, the Japanese used sabers in the swords
Well,
in
that
World War
shit's
II. They used
awesome.
gunto.
That shit's awesome.
They used gunto in World War II.
That is really that is truly badass.
Dude, they were killing more people than they should have. Like, we won the fights, but our numbers were like, yo, there's no reason why they should be taking out this many people. They're small and they have swords, and they're like, yes, but they're
small.
good with them. They're good.
But that's always been, actually, if you look at, say, when because we don't need to get into that, but
I'd be on the
all I
team
can
with
say-
I'd be
all
on
I can
Team
say is-
Japan, and if I got to view that fight, I'd be on Team Japan.
So
This is
listen,
the underdogs. They got
wait,
swords.
Wait.
Yeah, what's
So you would say, Sweeney, that the Manhattan Project is the day that
It's
that
the
everything changed.
initiation meant the when they gave it to, was it Eisenhower or was it Roosevelt who they gave it to? I could be wrong. When they were like, hey, we can use this to deal with Japan after what happened, because he admitted that he didn't know what the fuck it was, and they gave it to him, and
I don't
he
think it was
dropped
either.
that shit, and he was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
don't-
oh no.
It was
Look it up real quick. Look it up.
it was
real quick.
FDR or
Was it
Hoover,
Truman?
right?
Hoover, I think it might have been Hoover. Hoover sounds right.
Hoover sounds right, but I'm not like World War II stuff. Does
Truman
not
might
stick
be
in
right
my
too.
head for some reason.
I'm really like I said earlier in this podcast. I'm not a
Just
U.S.
look it up.
history
Yeah.
person.
Look it up, because like that for some reason it doesn't stick in my
Truman,
head.
it was Truman.
It was Truman. There you go.
dropped
Yeah.
it.
You got it. That's not good. Like that name did sound right.
I know more about fucking the ancient Sumerians than I know about the fucking the 13 colonies. Like
crazy.
unironically.
Actually, and for some reason I know more. I even know more about World War I. I don't know why. Just like the trench warfare is so fucking brutal. It's
World War One was
fascinating to me.
more guttural. It was more gross.
The
It
World
was
Wars.
fucking, brutal. Imagine
World
being
War
in a
II
fucking
was-
trench, dude, and
II
then like
was
where there's
big.
piles of bodies and shit, and you have to just be there.
Well, 2 was big, right? But 2 after 1, we had like a lot of rules in place to be like, yo, we can't use this, we can't do this, we can't do this.
When did the Geneva Convention become a thing?
I think that was post World
That
War
was
II.
after. That was after World War II for sure.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to I'm almost change the subject on accident. Was it
Oh,
just-
whatever. Yeah.
I just
But
I just wanted to that just popped in my head right now.
So you would say the Manhattan Project? Derek says Franz
Yeah.
Ferdinand. As far as like
I just think that-
when everything
No,
changed.
49.
what's-
49.
What's Sweeney saying? So the Geneva Convention was 49. So
Yeah.
it's just right after the World War, essentially.
1 and then 2 was right after 2. Right after 2.
See, I would say the day that
Interesting.
everything changed was
The day
the day the day
bombs
everything
being significant.
Yeah, the bombs are significant, but I would
Nothing
say
changed yet when Franz Ferdinand got assainated.
No.
To be fair,
But it is the
By
inciting
the
Nothing
black
changed
hand.
right
By
away.
the fucking black hand. By this. No, I'm kidding.
I don't think that's accurate.
But see, I would say, man, when did
Lee Harvey Lyon, did his thing.
when did Alien when
Kennedy.
did Alien Hominid come out? It's probably then.
What?
What?
But that's
Anyway.
When that kid threw the rock at JFK and everybody bugged out about him getting shot when it was a kid throwing a rock real hard.
Can you imagine?
I can vividly imagine that.
Some kid throwing a rock and it hits him in the head and he dies and everybody's like, oh,
There's
get down. He's just like,
There's some old dude that never told anybody. He's just still living right now, and he's like, "Fuck."
So
it was me. It was me.
oh man, what was I was gonna bring something up, but I forgot. Whatever. We talked a lot about random shit, like we said earlier. I don't even think we said it this time, but nothing crazy happened that we could see. There's some other Kanye stuff, but it's not really. It's gonna be hard for him to top Alex Jones. Like we said this before, where it's like he really blew his load on going on Alex Jones first. He should have built up to that. But yeah. So I guess we'll. Do you guys want to move on to questions? Because we got
but
a lot of a lot of new.
This will be the history tank, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
history tank.
there's no structure to this. It's just us fucking around.
I like it.
But yeah, I thought it was a good fucking conversation actually. But I think I want to get to questions because we got a lot of new people from the Radioactive stuff, or from the Radioactive video. So let me just read some of these. The Angelic Dungeon Master making a raid boss for his D&D like server. That's the Snark Tank podcast. Oh, cool. You guys have a D&D server going on over there.
hilarious.
By the way, we talked a little bit internally over here that we want to show up on the Discord a little bit more. I think we'll have a date set aside. We'll have a date set aside for when we will all be in there. I'm not sure. I think it might actually, at the time of recording this, it might be probably pretty soon.
Yeah,
I think
really soon, actually.
Yeah. So you'll catch us there because we do want to be there a little bit more often to make it worth it. But we'll also pop in at random, outside of the scheduled dates if we can. But
I'm gonna beat off in voice chat.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
I'll angle my mic really close to my groin as I'm like really going to town. But anyway,
Let's not do that.
this person wrote in. He says, "Hello, gay face-off, Radioactive, and porn star. New patron to the cult of Snark and listener for quite some time. Thank you so much. Y'all have inspired me so much. Lightened up some dark days and made long drives and long nights working on my own passion projects. You guys are seriously great, and I wish you all the best in everything you do. However, I must get down to business. As you can probably guess by my name, I assume at least one of you can read, I am working on a Snark Tank raid boss for my D&D-like server. I ask as politely as I can for you all to inspire me. Give me your input on what each of you brings to the table to make a unique and challenging boss fight." I think he writes a little bit more, but I think we can extrapolate on that pretty easily. I would say I would say Sweeney should go first, just because he's a little bit more versed,
100.
and I'm a bit of a novice, and I can probably build together some kind of template just based on what he says, because there's no way I'm going to say any of this right.
You'll get it, dude. Don't worry. But so let's say if it's D&D based, right? First and foremost, you got to figure out action economy. Okay. So would we have joined actions? Will everything be separate? What would we do? So I guess
I'm lost.
I'd assume I would be the person with the most HP because I'm the most large. I'd have reach, I'd have some sort of area effect move where well, no, what would be area effect? Derek would have the area effect move because of the music or something like that, or screaming. Something about yelling loud or doing some screamo shit. Chris, you have the you'd be the mover. You'd be the quick guy. You'd be the quick guy. You'd be the one getting around, zipping, dashing, and stuff like that. And then you would have your little electric guitar for little quick strikes, little assassin type stuff. Just fucking around. Make me be the sponge, and then make me be able to kind of get in between, preventing my homies from getting damaged with my wild takes. And I could say shit that make you take psychic damage.
I like that. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good point. I like the idea of us being a joint boss encounter where you're the big guy in the middle and you're kind of slamming down and just doing psychic damage, and then I pop out of the shadow real quick, just do it little bits of damage, and then fucking Derek with his fucking oh my god, what's that thing in Hades where it's a straight line and then I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
It's what is it, like a weapon, or is it
it's a weapon. Yeah, it's a weapon. I can't remember
what the bow and arrow, the shield.
It's been a while since I played Hades, to be real. But I love this idea.
Derek would give us temp hit points with his screamo shit. It would give us temporary hit points, so we pretty much have shielded HP that we can walk in and use.
That's pretty good.
Something like that, some type of war cry thing that'll buff us. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
that's
I like
good.
it. Yeah, I don't know how.
I think did a good job there.
Yeah, that's good. I defer to your expertise on this stuff, and I think that's a pretty solid idea. So probably not. You might want to tweak.
I'm a virgin.
You might want to tweak. You might want to tweak it to your own specifications, but I think we gave you plenty to work with there. But thanks for popping in. Thanks for joining us over here. There will be more.
Hell yeah, baby.
There will be more exclusive stuff on the show, or more exclusive episodes of the show. I mean. So stick around, won't you? Let's see.
Hell yeah.
I want to make sure I'm getting some of the Papa Jesus wrote and he says, "Hey, you magnificent meaty members. Simple question for you this time. What are some times where you combined two things that were great on their own but became terrible together? If you can't think of any personal examples, hypotheticals are welcome too." I feel like I did something like this super recently. I feel like the opposite of this happens often, by the way. The opposite of this happens to me a lot. I remember the first time I had cheese curds and caramel and things like that where it's like sweet and savory kind of mixing together, which I'm just generally not a huge fan of, but they work fucking perfectly for some reason. But as far as I remember, this is, by the way, this is really young me. This is I really need that to be real. This is very important. I was maybe 6. And I remember thinking, man, I really like cranberry juice. And man, I really like cereal, but I don't have milk. I wonder if I could fill a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios with my cranberry juice. That seems perfect. It was very much not perfect.
It's just a kid. It's a kid. You're I like this and I like this. I want to put these things together. It makes sense. You're just a child.
It very much does not work. By the way, I said I was 6. I was 22. But either way.
Oh, nice.
No, that's not true.
What?
In high school, I did put water in my cereal.
Oh, just to try it. Yeah,
because I didn't have milk, and I was like, water's probably the least offensive thing I can pour in here. It was terrible.
Water's not milk, bro.
It was terrible.
Really not milk. You figure that out. You figure that out immediately.
It's really not. It is probably one of the furthest things from milk you can get, but without while still being a liquid. But I think Yeah, that's the one that comes to mind immediately was when I poured cranberry juice in my Honey Nut Cheerios and I thought like, yeah, this is cutting down on my fucking lunchtime real effectively.
Maybe cranberry juice in a fruity cereal, but goddamn,
Not even.
No, not even. Cranberry juice is
just
very
too tart, bro.
Yeah, it's
very tart.
I love
tart and,
I love cranberry
true.
juice still.
I
to
love
this
it.
day. But
Dude, cranberry grape is fucking amazing.
bro, have you had cran mango before?
cran mango slaps.
Wildly acidic though.
Oh, yeah,
but
you can't-
super good.
You can only have a shot of it, really, before it'll like it'll
I have
it'll
cranberry
eat your.
pineapple. That's acidic, bro.
That
That's
shit,
right.
yeah,
Fucks
it'll
you
eat.
up, dude.
They will eat the line of your stomach even me. I drink orange juice way more than anyone should. I drink orange juice so much, in fact, that when I lick people, if I lick someone, it'll be sear them. It'll be acidic.
Why are you licking people?
Yeah,
in
what's
case.
going on?
Just in case. Okay. All right.
Just in case, just in case I need to. Like, if that's my weapon now. Like
You're
my,
doing
my-
acid
my-
damage
my
to people as
acidic-
you lick them. That's fucking disgusting.
Literally, dude. I kiss my girlfriend on the cheek and she screams, bro. It's like, why is this happening?
Do you have acid reflux at all?
Not at all.
That's kind of
That's
shocking,
crazy. I do.
based on the way you.
Not at all. You've lived with me. You see how much orange juice I drink.
I mean, I see how you.
Out of pocket,
I've just. We know each other's diets. Like we don't have the best. We don't have the best.
Not
the best diet.
at all. My diet's cleaned up a little because I started cooking a lot. Thank God, I started cooking more because I just need to. It's just more convenient when you really think about how much money you spend and how, like, if you just make a bunch of chicken at one time and some like brown rice and vegetables, you realize how much further your money goes for meals. But like,
I've been
in
eating the
general,
same
like, the
fucking
things I
chicken.
absorb-
I've been eating the same chicken for fucking 4 days.
It gets boring.
I don't
It gets
care.
boring because, like, even
I
I
don't care. I
love
don't have
chicken,
to
but
eat.
the same kind of chicken gets boring. But it's cheap. It's like, I just make a bunch of chicken. I'm just gonna grill chicken for the next hour of my day, and then you take it all out. You put it in a giant Tupperware. You get some rice. You boil that. You put that in another Tupperware, and you get vegetables, and that's it.
Meal prep, baby.
Exactly,
Gotta meal
bro.
prep.
Yeah, but
Breakfast
that's
meal
the-
prep is hard for me, man. I don't know how people do that shit. That shit's difficult.
Dude, breakfast is not a thing for me because school, since I was a kid,
You
I
stop,
get
man.
dead ass in the morning, all fucking, like, it's too early for me to want to eat anything. My system has not even ramped up enough to even want to be hungry, and it just
Oh my
carried me
God,
throughout
man.
my adulthood.
I was the exact fucking opposite.
You're supposed to, though.
I was the
You're
exact
supposed to eat
fucking
breakfast,
opposite.
though.
I was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
I would get to school. There were some days where I didn't eat breakfast before I got to school, and I would be fucking starving by
You'd feel gross.
by
yeah,
by,
you're supposed
by
to,
second
but it's
by second period I was in like the thralls of it, and that's really because like my family ate dinner very early, so like we would have dinner at like maybe like 6:30.
That's pretty normal.
I mean it's not normal
Is
for me.
this
Like
like-
I have
what's-
dinner at like
what's-
8. Like that's my
What's
my
crazy
dinner
is
time.
for me, dinner time, like when I would get in New York, when I was living with my grandma, shit like that, I would eat breakfast at I ate dinner at like sometimes like 9:00.
Yeah.
like just late. I'd ate breakfast, and like I thought when I started going to my friend's house and they'd eat dinner at like 5, like 6, I was like, what?
It's crazy. It's a crazy experience. Like
What?
Thanksgiving is even worse because they'll like Thanksgiving they'll be like, hey, we're eating, and it's like it's fucking 4:30. Like, what are you doing? It's like, well, we want to, I mean, I guess it makes sense because you get room for like seconds later on, and it is pretty good
I mean, dude,
for that.
in
but-
Europe, that's just standard. You eat your biggest meal in the middle of the day, around the middle of the day, and they have a light snack or something towards the night. So you're
That's
not
fair.
just fucking getting fat as shit,
I like
But
it. I don't know.
we do it so wrong.
I've gotten in the
Fucking stubborn. I mean,
I've gotten in the habit of eating a lot more lately, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. I still generally like. I mean, obviously not today. I'm gonna have a late dinner today, but we.
I mean, I haven't. All I've had was popcorn today.
Fuck.
And that was just right before we started.
You get used to it. You get used to eating late. It's a really bad habit, but it just happens.
School fucked me, man. I got used to it. I got used to not eating until I would maybe have a cookie around the first recess, and then at lunch I would have like Sun Chips and a pink lemonade, because like I just got used to it, and so I would have my food after like football practice and everything, which terrible. but I was also young enough to be able to to take it.
Yeah.
Now if I just need some sustenance like around 2 p.m. If I don't have anything at about 2 p.m., then I'll start getting a headache, and that's it.
The issue for me that I run into is because I go to the gym pretty early now.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like I do not have the energy to wake up even earlier to make myself a fucking full ass meal. So I'll make like a protein shake or whatever, and I'll just like guzzle that shit. But sometimes I've gone to the gym without eating at all, and I honestly can't tell what is worse or better. Like, I don't know. I can't nail down like whether or not I feel worse or better after eating before the gym or not eating before. I really don't know, and I don't know what the best course of action is either.
To me, the only thing I think you should do is just having enough calories to burn. Like, say for example,
right.
I used to in 2012 I used to ride my bike 9 miles to work. So all I would have in the morning was a bite of a Cliff Bar. This one of those, the Cliff Bars. I would have a bite of it, which would just be enough just to sustain, because I'm not hungry at all. So but I know I'm going to ride 9 miles. I need some fucking calories in me. So I would just take like a bite or two, and then I would finish it with a cup of coffee after the ride, and then I was fine. But like that was it, just enough to really sustain, just to give me some energy. But not like eating a full meal before you work out is retarded. And then also having zero, where if you're hungry before you start working out, that's bad too, because you already know you need calories already since your body's demanding calories.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna burn more.
Well, what you usually do is you eat beforehand, you let it digest, and then you work out.
Yeah, but a lot of people, like, how early are you gonna fucking work out?
But that's hard to do. That's
how
the thing.
early are you gonna wake up to let it fucking digest?
I have to get up at like 6 a.m. for that to. So it's like it's a rough.
That.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not doing that.
Like what Joe does. Joe, he wakes up. He does cardio immediately.
Yeah,
not the greatest
cardio.
idea. Not the greatest idea, but he does.
I like faster cardio. I don't know.
He does it immediately. He wakes up. He goes for a run. He runs like maybe a mile and a half. Comes back home and then eats. But the thing about Joe is when he eats. He consumes. So he eats,
big boy.
And then he chills out. He relaxes. Then he goes to he hits the gym.
That's probably
proper.
That's probably not a bad way.
And that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Like you wake up, you do jump rope for like 8 minutes, get some jump rope in, and then you eat.
Yeah,
I think
this
like a very
podcast,
solid thing.
What I want from this, I wish this podcast was enough to, so I can, there's side hustles, like doing side hustles, doing my main channel. I would love to just nuke it into an existence, because I want to do 2 a days. I want to fucking work out in the morning, with my wife, and then I want to go to the gym in the afternoon. I just don't have time. That's the one thing where it's like I want to dedicate more time to it, but it's like
you would pour off weight. You would pour off. You'd get in shape in like a year. You'd be in way better shape in a year.
Oh
if you
yeah,
did 2 a
dude.
days,
I would. When I was killing it back in the day, because when I just had a regular job, and you have a designated schedule, and I would just work out 5 times a week for an hour and a half cardio, half weightlifting, and when I was really fucking focused. Plus, I was taking these. To be fair, I was taking these. What are they called? Fat burning pills. They're called C4 from Cellular. I wouldn't recommend it because they kind of give you a stomach ache, but they appetite suppression and give you a ton of energy and focus. And I remember my first month focusing hard, I lost 20 pounds. Like I was lean and muscular. This was in 2013, and then I don't know. Then I just
fat burning pills are wild, man. Because when I was using them, when I was using appetite suppressors, when I was maybe when I was 20, when I was like actually starting to work out, I remember having so much energy. Like I remember and running was never hard for me, but it was the easiest thing for me. And I remember there was one time I should have ran from my house to Splashdown and back. And when I realized that was like 6 miles, and I stopped maybe for like 3 minutes to take a breather and kept going. And I was just like, I should not have that much energy. That's not good for me.
People say that it's like, some people say that they call it like meth light. Like it's like, it's
gross.
Essentially, and I was like, I get it, because they're pretty good, especially the ones that I mentioned. The only thing is that I would get stomach aches, and it says it like there's a possibility you're gonna get a stomach ache if you do it, and that shit's
wild.
whack.
Don't do it like that, man. It's wild.
Yeah.
The power I had though was outrageous.
Yeah. Let's
next.
Yeah, let's move on. The Nightman wrote in. He says, "Hey, Tom."
Nightman.
Tom Sweeney. And his 2 cowering cock sleeves. Long-time listener,
Jesus.
first-time patron.
Yo,
Radioactive. He says Radioactive got me to finally join, which is like,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
We should try. No, that's an insane commitment. I was gonna say we should do like one of these like ridiculous songs a month, just like a lazy,
that's not that hard.
It's not hard, but
we could do it.
Look, guys, come on. All right. If you guys are serious about this, I'm not gonna be the one to stop it. I'm down.
You don't have to do like it could just be. I just think it'd be a fun thing for Derek and I to do.
If I'm a part of the podcast, I'm a part of the podcast, so I'm gonna do it with you guys. Okay, I have to. But
stop protesting it, bitch.
I'm just scared. I'm scared of making my imprint of music like this. That's why I'm just scared.
It's too late. It's done.
I know. Yeah. I know.
You're a Billboard recording artist now.
Stop. What does he say?
Anyway, he says, if a genie gave you a single wish, you can't wish for more wishes or more genies to grant you more wishes. Fuck you, Chris. I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, you would have.
Yeah. But you could only use that wish to annoy or hinder either of your co-hosts. What would you wish for? Enjoy your stuff. Love from Texas. Thank you, the Nightman. We could only wish for something that would annoy or hinder each other.
I would wish you were a foot taller.
Me?
Yeah.
That would be a real.
That'd be fucked.
That would be a fuck. That would actually be a massive problem for me at the current.
You'd be about my height. You have no clothes that fit you. You'd have to buy a completely different wardrobe. You have to change the way you live your life. That's fucking funny.
That is. Man, yeah. I don't like that at all. I'm so comfortable.
We were just hanging out and you were complaining about how your clothes are already getting like tighter on you. So I was just like, I can imagine being taller. He would just
because ever since I started working out, my clothes are starting. Because I buy fit like really like slim fit clothes because I just happen to like that.
Yeah.
And now, but I'm at like an awkward size already where like small is like a little too loose and extra small was like kind of perfect, but now extra small is too small and small is kind of getting to that point, and it's like, oh man, this is fucking, it's cool, that's sick, it means there's results happening, but at the same time it's like I gotta buy so many new clothes that I don't want to fucking buy. Also for things that for reasons that I can't talk about yet, that would fuck me up a lot. Like that would be a really big problem if I was just a foot. If I was a foot taller, that'd be a fucking massive issue. But God, I hate that. I hate that you jumped. I hate that you jumped in with that so fucking quickly because I actually have to think a little bit about like how.
Hilarious. Fucking hilarious, dude.
I would just make Sweeney's. I think I would make Sweeney's penis 4.5 inches.
How would you do that to me?
Hard. It's hard. Like tops.
Stony.
You know what?
Okay.
You know what? No, that's too easy. That's too easy. I want to go your route. What you did to Chris. I want your penis to be 18 inches.
Oh no! The monkey's paw.
Is it?
Why would you do that to me, bro? The thing about this is like this. The thing about this is like, first of all, women in pornography that be taking these baseball bat cocks, they are a different breed of woman. The average woman, like, I think a lot of girls think they want to take like huge penises until they do it, and then they're like, "Oh, this is horrible. This is terrible. Like, I was hurt. My internals were hurting." Yeah. So like, if you do that, I would never lay with my wife. I'd never lay with my girlfriend. She'd be like, "I'm not letting you put that inside me. We've already having like, problems, and this is just like, I don't want to get that away from me."
Y'all would be across the room trying to fucking bang her. You'd have to be like fucking so far away from her. Just try to get a little bit.
Terrible. Come on. Let me put half the head in. That's terrible.
I would make it so your girlfriend didn't show up in pictures.
Oh, wow. I love it.
You're a monster.
Yeah, that's what
I
would do.
That fucking Twitter account.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
it would be that Twitter account, but made manifest, made real.
Yeah.
And
that's terrible.
And
you would have attacks me.
You would have, your girlfriend. She could still be around you in public, and people would see you together. But anytime you tried to prove it, it would be impossible. You'd have to. You would have to stage live events so that you could prove it, and even then, the recordings wouldn't work.
In our wedding photographs, it's just a floating dress.
Yeah. No, not even.
I'm holding
She's
the
gone.
hands of nothing. I'm there at the doing nothing. It's just her life is now ruined because she doesn't appear in her driver's license. She can't drive anymore. She can't travel.
No, you misunderstand. She can have pictures. She can't have pictures with you. Like two in the same photograph can never be photographed together. So you're right. She wouldn't appear in your wedding photos or anything like that. But she could still have her driver's license. She'd be totally fine. You'd have to like pay an artist to draw her into your wedding photos.
Could I pretend if I was to leave her, if we were to separate, lose our title, would she start appearing in pictures with me again?
No.
It's just no. Like,
but
so yeah, if y'all are friends or anything,
if I took a different woman to be my woman, if I went and unga bunga the girl on her head, like you're my girlfriend now, and dragged her away, would that work? Would that girl show up in pictures or no?
No, it's a list that you cannot take away. You can only add.
Oh my god, dang, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I'd leave her eventually. I'd eventually just leave her. How dead psychic damage to myself. I'd be like, I can't be with you no more.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that's
so
my
vindictive.
idea.
Jesus Christ! All right, what's the next one? Jesus,
I had to think a little.
We're all monsters. We're all just trying to hurt each other so bad.
That was a stipulation.
Derek, I'd make you very, 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 very thin. Crazy thin. Crazy thin.
Like Eugenia Cooney?
My
god.
I'd make you thinner than her. You look like Daddy Longneck, that guy from Instagram. That guy.
Fuck that guy that was hanging out. Who was he hanging out with?
I don't fucking know.
Who was that asshole hanging out?
But
he was hanging out with somebody who was a flash in the pan. Someone got really popular. Oh, it was that black dude. He had that huge wide neck.
Yeah, wide neck. The dude with the wide neck. I remember him. I remember that fella. What happened to him?
They started hanging out together, and then they fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, they fucking they did music together. Do you remember this?
Oh, I didn't.
They probably fused it into a regular neck and regular. They probably fused to a regular guy.
Fused it to a regular neck. No, he did a track called Daddy Longneck, and no, it's Daddy Longneck, and the track is called Next Up, and it's spelled NECKST up, featuring Wide Neck.
I've never heard this.
Yeah,
I know what I'm listening to after the podcast.
Oh yeah, I liked it on my fucking SoundCloud. It looks dope. That guy's neck is so inconceivably wide.
He's not even muscular. He just has a wide neck. That's what makes it worse.
Yeah, he's like normal.
Neckist big thing. So they have one also. They have two tracks.
Hey yo.
The other one, next big thing. Because there's Next Up and Next Big. Next Big Thing has almost 6 million views.
Damn.
That's nuts.
That's
they fucking hit it. They got a deal somewhere, man. They got a fucking.
I can't believe this dude. And this dude was because of a mugshot, right? Wasn't the dude that he had a mugshot with the white neck? That's how he got discovered. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy how that happened. Do you have a mugshot and then you go fucking viral?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Oh man, I can't wait to listen to this shit later. All right, let's
get one more in. Hello, Ego, Super Ego, and Id. Longtime listener, first time patron for the merry month of December. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. I didn't say your name. I don't think. Big Ugly Jordan. Welcome aboard, my guy. Thanks for popping in. No doubt probably from Radioactive as well.
Let's go.
If you could magically summon a swarm of any animal, living or extinct, to fight for you, what animal would you choose? Fuck you, Chris. Humans don't count. I don't know why everybody has this perception that I'm going to lawyer my way.
Because you're a lawyer, Chris. You're a lawyer.
Yeah, you are a lawyer.
You are. It's fine.
Fuck me, I guess. God damn.
No, but you are a lawyer. I would say dire wolves.
I'm not going to say.
What a swarm. What are you going to say? I got to hear it now. You can't be what's not now. You got to say it.
No. I was going to say... I don't want to say it.
Come on, Derek. Stop being a bitch. Come on, say it.
Someone on Twitter that's just all he looks in. He's an interesting person, and he's an interesting looking person. I was gonna say his name, but it's too easy. It's just too easy. I'll think of something a little more kosher.
I would say a swarm of dire wolves, man.
That'd be cool.
Like a lot
like
of them.
bees, but like they're like bees though. Like
no, well, no, it's as so it's as many as
a
it would be
swarm of
bees.
dire wolves.
But it's like you'd assume it'd be like I'm gonna summon a swarm of dire wolves. You're like it's probably gonna be like 3 or 4, and no, it's the equivalent of as many that would be in a fucking beehive. So it's hundreds and hundreds of wolves
like
just storming someone.
There's like a fucking cave hanging from a tree. There's just a bunch of dire wolves just come out of
pouring
like
out
bees.
like a wave. It looks like a tidal wave of wolves. And I was like, get him, consume him.
So many wolves. So many wolves.
You know how crazy that'd be? You know how much of the population would get reset? You know how much damage that would do to the ecosystem wherever that is?
Destroy, wherever it is.
Fuck that, and many of them would probably kill all the humans in the general area. Like people would have to move away.
Oh, God,
because it'd be so many of them.
That'd be so crazy to see. Man.
Someone casts a spell. He's like, I can summon how many of an animal? Your spell can summon 300 of one animal. And this idiot chooses dire wolves, and he completely fucks up the ecosystem in a place, destroys it.
Something like, I like the idea of something like way worse, where it just take up too much space, like a swarm of like hippos or something.
That's insane.
There's just so much space being taken up.
Man, this is a hard answer. This is a hard question. Like, because I'm thinking of so many different possibilities. Because my first instinct is like a magically summoned swarm of any animal implies there's really no limit, and I feel like you'd want to go big in some ways. Because like my first thought was like gorilla, because like. Dude, like you're winning a lot of fights with a swarm of gorillas.
So if you summon that many gorillas, you could probably beat the Avengers. That many gorillas could probably kill the Avengers as a whole. That's dangerous.
What was that conversation we were having at the bar?
You were like 1 million SpongeBobs against.
I was asking a bar full of people. I was asking. Like, do you think Superman could beat 1 million SpongeBobs? And I don't think he could.
I think it depends if somebody got his reality warping powers. Like, is SpongeBob breaking reality? Because sometimes he does that, and it doesn't make sense.
That's all he does.
I think we just found our title for this episode. It's Superman beat 1 million SpongeBobs.
I really like this. I've been thinking about this for weeks. Like because you know what brought this up to me is like I saw a video. I don't remember what. This is not an episode that I grew up with.
Okay,
but it's an episode of SpongeBob that I saw where. I think like Mr. Krabs is like horrifically injured or something, and SpongeBob has to manage the restaurant, and so he shapeshifts into Mr. Krabs. It's like, okay, so he's a shapeshifter. That's a fucking insane. That right off the bat.
Good move.
Right off the bat, that's insane. But then he does this thing where like he pisses off Squidward so much that Squidward quits, and he's like, oh man, I need someone to man the register, and he peels a thin layer of his face off. And that thin layer of his face becomes another SpongeBob.
Let's go. Yeah,
he does this constantly, and he never gets smaller. By the way, like he never gets thinner. It's never like 8x9 You know, he's not like a fucking sheet of paper by the end. So he can clone himself seemingly infinitely. He's a shapeshifter. He can drive. He can sit on a boulder and drive it. Just because he wills it so.
He's got some tech on him.
Like
You're
the
right.
pioneer shit. That
The pioneer shit. Like as if anyone else on the show would be able to do that. Yeah, right. I don't know, man. Like
I've seen Patrick's broken reality a few times too.
Yeah, but
not the same degree.
But Patrick is still in that universe, man. Like I really think
I don't know.
Superman has more rules binding him.
That's true.
Than SpongeBob does, and for that reason alone, I don't
prove that SpongeBob has magic.
Yeah,
that will fuck Superman up, dude.
That's the thing. Superman. The thing is like this, right? So Superman isn't weak to magic, but the thing is that magic affects him like it affects every other person. Like it doesn't. Superman doesn't like if you use a fireball on Superman, right? That's magically created. Yeah. It won't do extra damage to him, but it would burn him like it would burn Bruce Wayne or me or you. You know, well, not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's built different. He's like,
that makes sense, but I guess by default, since nothing else hurts him, it's like he's weak to magic, right?
I guess that's what you mean. Yeah, he's resistant to everything, but magic has no resistances.
It has no resistance to his Kryptonian flesh or whatever.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Like that.
Someone might do some fuck shit to him and vor him or something like that. Like, I'm going to go inside his head. And he fucking becomes big again. Yeah. I'm ready. And he pops out his head. And it's like, oh, shit, he died.
That's the thing. It's like, I feel like SpongeBob would win by accident. I don't think he would try. I don't think he would try to kill. And I don't think Superman would try to kill SpongeBob either. I just think in a serious fight where they just had to fight, I feel like SpongeBob.
They just had to fight.
Yeah.
Like Darkseid. Darkseid forces them to fight because if they don't fight, then he's gonna blow up like the world or something. He's gonna blow up Earth, like some type of scenario right there where he just he forces him to fight.
Yeah, he's like, please no, and Darkseid's like, you got to fight him, and he's like, I really don't want to fight him. I really don't fight him. That's SpongeBob. He's done nothing wrong.
That's a million SpongeBobs.
If you don't fight, the world dies.
I'm saying it right now. Maybe it would be an interesting fight between like a single SpongeBob and a Superman, but there's no way Superman's winning it.
You said it may be an interesting fight between SpongeBob and Superman.
An individual
but if
SpongeBob.
It's multiple. Yes. It's a fucking wash.
It's a wash, man. There's no way Superman's contending with a million people, a million SpongeBobs. There's no way. Like I think
even a million people could probably give him some more. No, he could just kill them. It's like punching through air.
But that's what I mean, right? That's kind of like because we were talking at the bar. It's like what's interesting, and we hadn't thought about it this in depth. But at the time, we were like, it's interesting because I feel like Superman could easily win against one person, and he could probably win against one SpongeBob. But he could easily win against a million people, but probably not a million SpongeBobs. So what is SpongeBob's power level? That was a conversation we were having. Is
it beyond human?
It's
because the thing is this, right? If you gave one person the strength of 1 million people,
they'd be pretty strong.
That'd be horrifying. That wouldn't be pretty. That's Chris. Spider-Man is really strong, not pretty strong. Captain America is pretty strong. He can lift like 5,000 pounds. That's pretty strong. 1 million people stacked on top of each other power-wise. Yeah. It's horrifying.
You're right. Even if it was just like 1 million kids, that'd be really scary.
That's a lot of energy.
You know how much torque you get if you clap your hands, you break a building. You can do worse than that. You can probably slap concrete apart and dig into the world. Just slapping it.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't feel because. It's the reason I asked that question because it seems like most people would say like, oh yeah, Superman wins, obviously, but like I don't think they're thinking.
It's like, have you really thought about it though?
Yeah, you got to think about this.
You got to make a video about that, Chris.
This is that video. There you go.
That would be the greatest departure of content for you if you made a serious video about that. Like you spent months reading Smooth comic books, getting like a very solid understanding, and then you watch every episode of SpongeBob. You catalog everything he's done that's impossible, and then try to scientifically make it make sense.
Yeah.
And like, hey, I'm Chris Raygun. And I'm here to tell you why 1 million SpongeBobs absolutely dog fucked the shit out of Kal-El, son of Krypton.
Yeah, well, you know what the thing is? I would do that, but that's a lot of effort and YouTube doesn't like that. It would be a lot easier for me to. It would be a lot easier for me. Yeah, it would be a lot easier for me to dance in front of a fucking, I don't know, like one of those Feliz Navidad cactuses. And just play some fucking, I don't know, Bruno Mars song or fucking whatever, and then like it'll get 1 million views, and then I'll get some patrons out of it. People don't like effort. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I feel like it used to be a safe bet. Now it's not.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
You have to be grandfathered in for some effort. I see some people still putting out some pretty quality shit every once in a while.
That's true.
And they don't get recognition for it.
That's very true.
Because I've seen none of it.
Yeah, it's much easier to just stream and post clips.
It's insane how much.
Just do it, ladies and gentlemen. Do it.
I'm working on a video right now. It's taken me like 7 months. This is like a big project of mine, and like every day I feel like, God damn, like this is gonna come out and it's gonna reach like 8 people max. And, like
8 people.
I feel like it's just gonna. I feel like I have that because that happened a couple times when I would upload and it would be like. I would leave a video. Do you remember when this used to happen, Derek? Like sometimes you'd upload a video and then you'd wait like 30 minutes or whatever, and then it'd be like 10 views.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. And then you'd re-upload it again, and then it would be fixed. I just have a feeling like that would happen, and it would like ruin my fucking day.
Would you stop? Would you stop if that happened? Like if you like.
If I re-uploaded it and the problem still persisted, I'd probably just start a new channel at that point. Part of me's been thinking about that anyway.
Like you really you put your heart and soul into something, and you're like, I really I can't wait for this video to come out. And
I am very stoked about this video, but it's but sometimes I'm just thinking like, what am I fucking doing? It's such a waste. It's so much effort, and it's coming along pretty well, but also like, there's just that part where it's like, is anyone gonna fucking see this?
If I were you, I would try to awaken the sleeping algorithm just by posting a bunch of bullshit within 1 week. Make 2 videos. Make a video about Kanye West, because those videos did kind of well on my channel, surprisingly. Considered to the average views I would normally get. And then there's this guy. You don't have to give a shit about him, but still, just talk about him. His name's Brendan Schaub, if you know him. Brendan Schaub's former MMA, UFC fighter turned quote-unquote comedian that everybody hates. If you make a video by him, it will get in the algorithm because he has the most dedicated haters I've ever seen in my life.
Shav, really? People hate him that much? I mean, he kind of sucks, but like people hate him that much.
Yes, dude. I made a video about him, just covering some of the bullshit why people hate him. And when I checked, this was months ago. Like that shit got 200,000 views easy. And I'm just like, yo. And there's motherfuckers that have channels dedicated just hating on him. It's so funny.
Shav, really?
It's so funny.
Freaking what you call like what's his name? Gringo Poppy?
Yeah, Gringo Poppy. He's fucking trash. He's really not. His problem is he's just not a comedian. He's not funny at all. That's the problem.
Oh my god, he's so tragically. By the way, I want to bring this up too, since we're talking about this. I tweeted
the thing. Let's talk about the thing. There's one thing that actually happened that we're not talking about. The Dave Chappelle bringing Elon Musk on stage thing and he getting booed.
Right.
That's what happened. Okay.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up because I tweeted recently, like the other day, I was just like, I admit it was a little bit of an insulting tweet because I was like, Elon Musk is the Imagine Dragons of people in the sense that he frequently shows up in places that are made worse by his presence. That's what I said. But I was just like, I was just talking about, it's like, this guy's just not funny. Like, he's not a charismatic, funny person. Like, that's just not who this guy is.
Right.
Just isn't. Like I think almost objectively so. And so many people were like, well, obviously, there's a lot of Elon fucking simps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't fucking understand it. I really cannot for the life. I don't even hate the guy, by the way. I'm just so unenamored by him. Like, I feel nothing. Like, he shows up and I'm like the only reason I really don't like him is for the same reason I don't like Imagine Dragons. I'm not even joking. In the sense that he just shows up so often and I hear about him so much. And then, like, imagine I go to a Dave Chappelle show. I want to see a legend work. I want to see a legendary comedian do a set. And then here, I got to put my phone away and it's like, you know what? I don't want to hear about Twitter bullshit. You know? And then on stage comes Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
You got, like, I can't stress this enough.
Stop. Talk about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is amazing. But I can't stress this enough because I saw a lot of people being like, oh, of course a woke crowd in San Francisco booed him. It's like, it's a crowd in San Francisco that paid to see Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't random outside. These aren't people who are like, man, Dave Chappelle is so insensitive. I fucking hate him. I hate him so much. I'm gonna buy tickets to his show and be excited to see it. That's his audience. And if I was there to see Dave Chappelle and Elon Musk goes on stage and takes 10 fucking minutes of that stage time, I am absolutely booing. Get him off the stage.
My thing is that,
did you see him try to fucking play Wario? Get him off.
Yeah, right.
The thing right now is that I feel like Dave Chappelle. My feelings toward Dave Chappelle are a little mixed right now. I still think he is one of the greatest of all time to ever do it. That will never change, ever.
Sure.
I think that he might have been a little wrong in the way he said some things, and I think for me the biggest problem was he didn't react the way I would hope he would have reacted. I wish he would have been like, I fucked up. Let's talk, and I can make jokes about the fact that I fucked up, and I can keep it pushing. He didn't do that. I didn't like the way he didn't do that, but nonetheless,
right.
The way he reacted felt a little overly defensive. For someone who's been around as long as he has and has made as long as he has. And has admitted to saying the wrong thing before more than once. That's not new to him. The way he went about it this three time was like, I didn't like it. But why the fuck was Elon Musk at his show? Like, Dave, what are you doing with Elon? Why?
But
is he here?
But the thing is, Dave can find a way to make that funny, and he did. He put
Some
a couple
of his jokes
like
were funny.
Yeah, because he was like, the first comedy club on Mars is gonna be mine. And it's like, it's like that was the deal, or stuff like that. It's like, he can do it, but it's just he's
who asked for Elon Musk in the first place.
Yes.
Particularly, Elon Musk has tarnished his reputation because, number one, Tesla has always been known, for example, as a progressive thing. You're trying to get into electric stuff. That was always the vibe, right? Mm-hmm. That was like the vibe. There's people now that are actively saying, I will never fuck with Tesla because of these decisions he's been making. Before, when he was trying to get ahead of the sexual assault allegations, he said, oh, I'm conservative, and then, they're attacking me because I'm conservative. And I was like, what a genius. What a scumbag genius.
I hate him for that. That's the main reason why I don't like him. That is the main reason why I don't like him, personally.
And that was the first thing that he did. And now what he's doing now on Twitter, it is, if anyone who's paying attention, just mainstream people. So these people that are watching Dave Chappelle are just a bunch of fucking normies. And they're seeing on media outlets saying, oh, Elon Musk is letting a bunch of shitty people back on Twitter. Oh, you know that guy that runs Daily Stormer, the fucking neo-Nazi website? He got his account unbanned. Why the fuck would you let this guy back on Twitter? And why is Ethan Klein still banned, for example? You know what I'm saying? Did
you ever get your account back?
I have not gotten my back because I don't have any. If I had conservative ties, I could get it back.
That's
like, say,
fucked
for
up.
example, the Sargon of Akkad's back. Why the fuck is Sargon back? You know why Sargon's back? Because people like the Quartering and Ian Miles Chong petitioned Elon.
Yeah.
And that's why they're back. Now, me, I don't have any ties to these people because I've shat on them too much. There was some, for example, I don't fuck with the Hodge twins anymore. However, I was like, I think we still follow each other on Instagram because I forgot about it. I was like, I think I'm going to try to DM those motherfuckers just to be like, oh, we're still, because I've shat on them too because I'm disappointed in those motherfuckers. I knew them before they went political, right?
Right.
And
when they were just workout gurus and they would eat in their car and like that back in the day.
Yes, now they have a channel called the Conservative Twins and everything, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, fuck. Anyway, so I may try to ask them and be like, I know you guys talked to Elon. Could you tell him to give me my fucking account back? Because Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, all these people have done things infinitely worse than me pretending to be fucking Trump.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so I'm like, bro, give me my fucking account back. It's not like it
agree.
was some scrub account. It was like close to like 90,000 followers or some shit. And like fucking a bunch of his buddies that he loves having sex with Joe Rogan and stuff. Like we were following each other. I'm saying like mine was no scrub account. So obviously there's just some fuckery going on and people are seeing this. So right now, and other things, Elon's spreading conspiracy theories. He's lifting, like there was the suppression of like misinformation. He's letting that go. He doesn't give a fuck about that anymore. He's doing so much shit that people like on the surface that are talking about it in those late night shitty Jimmy shows and stuff. They're all talking about it. So people are aware of this stuff. They're like, fuck this guy. They're like, fuck, get them the fuck. Chris, you're totally right to, even if Elon didn't do this stuff, I would still be annoyed that he came out because I'm like, why the fuck is he here? But those boos were so prominent because of the shit that's going on right now, and it shows how out of touch Dave Chappelle is, and particularly when he was talking about all that trans stuff and that turf stuff, where he like doubled down. He doesn't understand the real fucking problem, and that story he actually made up about that chick that killed herself and all this stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Don't say that to me.
Yeah, you got to look into that too. It's not the way he classified all that shit went down. It's not true. It's just fucked up. But this is what.
Don't tell me that.
This is what a lot of people do, man. Like there's a story. I'm not gonna go into it. It's a little bit longer, but it's just if you watch that special and how he classified it, how he told the story. There are people that know that person. They're like, that's not how that fucking shit went down. But the thing is, how are you gonna fact check one of the biggest stars on earth? You know, how are you gonna like fucking? It's like, say right now, there's a UFC fighter named Paddy Pimblett, huge star right now, huge fucking star. He started talking shit on this journalist named Ariel Helwani, this MMA journalist, lied about a bunch of shit, and the reason he did it because he was having a podcast with the boss, Dana White. He just basically was sucking off the boss. Ariel comes out and says, hey, none of that shit's true, here's the receipts, and then Patty just doubles and triples down, and all of the normie fans that don't pay attention to all the like the stuff in the community, they don't really know what's happening. So just like Dave Chappelle can lie and make this to make himself look good, and then people were like, hey, that's not how it went down, actually. This isn't why she killed herself. You know, like, even though he said, like, oh, they killed her because of this, and that. Like, no, this is not why she killed herself. Like, people that knew her were like, no, that's not true. And then, but it just goes under the radar. Same with this Patty shit. It's just, if you're big enough, you can just lie and get away with it. It's okay.
Don't tell me that. I love Dave so much.
I like him too, man, but it's just like the fame obviously got to him.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I think... honestly, I didn't have a single problem with any of his specials at all. But I think
I think that's the thing. We didn't have a problem, but we.
No, I had a problem. I did have a problem with the fucking that turf nonsense that he was spewing. I did have a problem.
What was he saying?
Like, he mischaracterizing what fucking the trans issues and shit. And
Yeah,
the whole
that's
thing
the
about
thing,
like
right?
say, because there's the whole thing about like say, you know, how people say that trans women are women. Like, they know they're not fucking biologically women. That does not need to be stated.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
But socially, gender wise, they're like, oh, trans women are women. But he doesn't agree with that shit. There's pushback. There are things that say, for example, people were what's her name? J.K. Rowling was like palling around with Dave Chappelle in a way like, oh, thanks for almost having my back type of a thing.
Right.
And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're not really paying attention, I guess maybe it can
go over your head. That's the thing.
But it's just like, I'm listening to what these people in the community, in these communities, they're saying. They're like, hey, this is problematic, man.
That's where my problem grew from, because I absorbing it, right? I'm not a part of that community, and also I'm not a person that's bigoted, right? So in hearing Dave Chappelle, I'm seeing well, at least that group, at least this group in particular, I got nothing against. This one group, I'm on their team. So I'm like, I'm not seeing it. You know, I'm not seeing the problem. But then I watched some videos. That guy that you told me about, that guy with the dreads, that African American dude.
Signifier.
Yes,
FD Signifier.
I watched him. He made a great video talking to someone to trans people about what he said, and they were just like, it was just mischaracterization because you're not aware of the problems that come from these things. And I was like, damn, now that I hear this group's perspective of it, I can see that Dave was a little bit he was a little bit wrong, but what bothered me most that he didn't just be like, my bad, that's it, that's all, my bad, I was incorrect.
It's literally simple as that.
That's
like,
it.
oh shit, because that's what I've done. I'll say this again, and then let's move on, or maybe end it or whatever. I don't know what video it was and how many years ago it was, but I used to think sex and sex and gender were interchangeable. I didn't know there was a difference. I was just ignorant. So I remember in some video where I specifically said there's only two genders, because I thought it meant like sex. I thought it meant the same thing.
Yeah, most people.
I've been educated since then. I'm like, I know what the difference between gender and sex, and it's like, oh, my bad. If I've ever said that, that's not what I meant. You know what I mean? Just to kind of clarify, and then it's as simple as that, and like you move on, everybody's cool. You know, but when a lot of people's egos, they get fucking hurt. These people they're like, oh, I'm being attacked, and then they double down. I'm like, fuck, stop. Why can't you be wrong? You're a fucking human being. There's nothing wrong with being wrong, man. Just correct it. It's fine.
That's all it takes. And I think that's the thing that like a lot of people in general as a whole have that problem. Like, I understand why Dave did that, right? Because comedians, everything people make jokes about, everyone gets upset about. You know, people get upset about a lot of shit nowadays. It's just the nature of the beast nowadays, and everybody gets upset. And I feel like Dave felt attacked in his essence of that moment, right? But people weren't attacking him just because of some stupid shit. There was a little bit of incorrectness in how you went about it. And if he would have just been able to see that, he would have been able to make jokes even about himself making that mistake, and that could have been better. Because having someone like him, the biggest comedian on the planet, just understand where he fucked up, that's fine. That'll give more people who have done fucked up things or said shit incorrectly a chance to be able to be like, you know what, I fucked up too, and that's what I see it as. But it's a different conversation for him, because he didn't do that. So
I guess I don't know, like, because I look at like one of the one of my favorite jokes of his from The Closers is when he's talking about how good it must have felt to be one of the kids that Michael Jackson slept with, right? And how he's talking about like, how was it, like, oh, how you doing, Jimmy? How was your weekend? How was my weekend? Michael
that
Jackson
joke's hilarious.
sucked. It is, but like that's also not an accurate depiction of the victims of Michael Jackson. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
no, not at all.
I don't think there is. I don't know. So to me, it's like.
But Michael Jackson's victim isn't a community of people that are still kind of fighting for their social rights. You know, technically.
I understand what you're saying, but also, I mean, you could argue that that's a joke.
You can argue, yeah, you're right.
You could argue that that's a joke that makes light of, you know,
sexual assault,
child sexual abuse. It totally
does. But it's also, but I'm not even going to say, because there's people like Milo Yiannopoulos who are totally fine with their sexual abuse. You know, he's making a joke, but it's also at the same time, there is some, because when you think about it as you're a kid and you're ignorant, and they're like, holy shit, I just did this awesome shit, and then maybe you get older, like all these victims are now. People got older, and they're like, well, wait a second, this will happen to me.
What I mean is...
It's Dave Chappelle's classification. He can make... There's comedians, there's local comedians that make trans jokes all the fucking time. There's actually some like shit swirling around TikTok and whatnot to show, here's an example of how to not be a bigot, essentially. That's how they're trying to promote it, as like, this is why he's going about it wrong. It's not about jokes. You can make jokes about these situations. It was just like the classification... And he was just getting things wrong and promoting what they call like fucking transphobia, or what would just say like the turfism or whatever the fuck, where it's kind of like promoting that this is not like, he didn't understand. He really didn't understand
what he was saying. That's as simple as that.
It was really that. So it wasn't like that. Like, oh, it wasn't whether it was funny or not. Because there's people like, I watch some people that are pretty progressive. And they're like, it's not about it being. It's not funny. Or it was just, it's a little bit more complicated, I guess, where I would challenge people to watch videos of people trying to actually do a better job than what me or Sweeney are saying, but to actually see like, oh, here's the issue, check this out, and then, you know, if you still disagree, then fair enough, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's not about him being offensive, it's about him just being slightly ignorant. I think that's what it was.
Because he's gay and he's
I guess,
he's
but
ashamed
I feel like,
of being gay. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I guess, yeah. I don't know that much about it. I just know that like how I feel generally about being able to be ignorant in comedy. And how funny a lot of that shit really is. Like it's like some of the, like, obviously you have Carlin, who is like very much the opposite, right? He's like a very, very knowledgeable fucking person who's doing comedy, and it's like very, very true.
But Dave is usually the knowledgeable person. That's the thing.
And Dave has never been Carlin.
He's not Carlin. He's not Carlin.
I have a pretty good
example. But he has been wise. He's a very wise man.
I think what we did, for example, with the gay parody is a good example of, here is some comedy that gay people are not offended by, but then there's comedy out there that people are very offended by. So you start joking about AIDS and all this other shit, things that like could really start pissing people off. Now I'm not saying you can't do that,
right.
But understanding that like this is gonna piss some people off when you start joking about some of the more serious things and things that have actually affected them negatively or whatever. But like us just fucking around and talking about, you know, just dudes butt fucking each other like in an anthem is not a problem, because we're not like, you know, we're not saying there's anything wrong with that. Actually, I feel like we're almost celebrating.
We're championing it, literally. I'm a champion of this community. In fact,
I feel like that's like really the only difference. Where it's just
you could argue that we've done more for that community than anyone.
Honestly, give me my fucking flowers right now, LGBTQ. Hand me my motherfucking flowers right now.
By the way, guys, I don't know. By the way, I just want to say this because I look, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to take credit for it anyway. We should take credit. We should take credit for this. I swear to God, and I know Sweeney agrees with me, that fucking gay Ford F-150 shit did not. I'm really convinced.
That was us.
Because I saw that like elsewhere, like random corners of the internet. Like way after we did that joke. Like
what
way
makes it crazy
later.
Is that we made those jokes in our house quite a bit ahead before we brought it onto the podcast as well.
Yeah, you guys were on stream or something, weren't you, or something like that?
Ford F-150.
That was even before that. It was even before that we made those jokes. That was like an in the house joke.
That was a long-running joke. That was like the long-running joke about the Ford, like, we got Ford F-150. And then all of a sudden I see it everywhere. So not only did we write like a really fantastic gay anthem, we gave you a car.
Our car brand that specially speaks to your group.
Fucking truck.
What can I say, man?
I did see a comment in the comment section about that. Like, I listen to this while I'm in my F-150.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
All I'm saying is this, man. All I'm saying is this. I've done more for the gay community than anybody has ever done, ever. And I want my fucking flowers. That's it. I'm sick of y'all.
I ain't disputing that.
I'm sick of y'all acting like I don't deserve my flowers.
I think we all have, quite frankly. I think we all
exactly,
have.
bro. We're fucking trendsetters, man.
Dude,
as an ally.
The amount of people that there was a bathroom in a college in Ireland that said it's about dick, it's about penis written on one of the stalls. And I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing to have that, like, that bizarre impact? Like, it makes no sense. That was like when I was in Venice. That was like when I was in Venice and I saw one of my, like, I saw a like one of the vendors who, like, selling shirts. They were selling knockoff, and I mean, you have a similar experience with this too, with your fucking R.I.P. Marcus, where they use your fucking face on some fake.
When they literally Googled some black guy. What makes that crazy is that they Googled some random black guy. Probably they
something
typed in some random black guy on the computer, and then he came up. That is poetry in motion right there, dude.
That's damn funny.
What was the image that they used? What for
was
the
you
Venice,
like this?
What did you see?
You had a suit on or something like that?
No. You, Chris.
Oh, for me?
What you saw at Venice? What did you see?
I saw at Venice Beach in California. I saw my Kill Me. Like my friends, because I used to have a.
Okay.
I used to have a. I still do. It's a pretty. I love that shirt. I will never get rid of it. But it's just the Friends logo, but it says "Kill Me" in the same Friends font with the same, like, spacing and the periods in between. And I saw that for sale, so like in droves. So like they definitely didn't buy it from me. They just, like, knocked the design. But But I know for a fact that I was the first person to make that design. I remember photoshopping it. I remember making it. I remember putting it out, and I remember even looking at it. It's like, is that my design? And because I have like I had a very specific error that I left in on purpose just to see like in case, because I knew this would happen. Not in Venice specifically, but I knew that shirt would get ripped off. It's always merch designs are always fucking ripped off. Like Redbubble, there's always like some fucking fake version of your merch. It sucks, but there's like an error that I left in there, and I look, is it there? It's like, yep, that's it. That's nuts. So this dude was just selling Kill Me shirts, and I was like, that's sick, bro.
That's
and he's like,
so
he was like,
funny.
yeah, man, you want it? It's like, nah, I'm set.
Nah,
But-
man, I made that shit.
That's mine, bro. That's mine, bro. That's real fucked up of you.
I wasn't gonna give him a hard. I mean, whatever. Like,
Yeah, no, I get
No,
it.
no, absolutely not. Whatever. That's a fucking criminal. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, yeah, literally yes, but like, I don't look, man. If I was going after him, I'm fine. I don't need the money that he's gonna make off of those like 15 shirts. like,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you do,
exactly.
You do,
Exactly,
because I know you're gonna just rip somebody else off in like a week and steal their design. I'm just gonna let you go do your thing.
Let
But
him live, man.
But to have that impact and like just to see it reflected elsewhere is so fucking weird. Like, it's a weird experience.
I opened my DMs, right? And I usually don't have my DMs open because the last time I opened them, I got a lot of very explicit images. And I was like, I'm going to delete these. I don't need this energy. But I opened them recently, and people have been saying, like, hey, Sween, thank you so much for everything you've done on the podcast. Thank you from Israel. Thank you from, like, Glasgow and shit like that. And I'm just like,
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool, man.
stop. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up. Don't ever message me again, you stupid bitch. You're in fucking danger. I know where you fucking live. You didn't hide your fucking IP address, you fucking idiot. I'm gonna have you drone striked. Like, shit like that, because I can't deal with people giving me, like, respecting me, you know?
That's so stupid.
It bothers
But
me.
I thought you wanted. I thought you wanted your flowers. I thought
I want my flowers
for the gay shit.
I want my flowers because that group needs to give me my flowers.
All right,
But these other people, fuck them.
That's so bizarre that you keep getting. You gotten like I don't get nudes for shit, man.
I
No
got
one gives
them
a
once and I deleted them, and I'm like, no thanks.
Do people like? I think when I was popping years ago, but like now that's literally
Got
I have all
'em
my
once,
DMs
bro.
open for everything. Nothing. Like nobody gives a flying fuck.
Lucky. You're
And
married
it's-
now too, bro.
it's
That's why
pretty
you can't
cool.
get shit.
I mean, I feel like I was like, oh, I hope, because you know how some demons, they're like, oh, he's totally taken. I'm gonna try to steal him, and but everything's been cool, man. Everything's been cool.
Praise the
Anyway,
Lord, man.
let's
Chris
wrap this
can't do
bitch
that.
up.
Yeah,
man.
let's wrap it
Can't
up.
do that.
Let's wrap it up. We got another episode. We have our extra episode to do now, and
Right.
The Patreon.
so exclusive to patreon.com/the Snark Tank. So if you want to support us over there, just feel free to pop by. There's a bunch of extra content that's going to be there every week. We do another this next one, I think, because we were we meant to cover it today, but we never got to it. I guess the extra.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
we
Yeah, I
got
guess we were
really
just gonna have to do it.
we got really distracted. So we're gonna do kind of a Game Awards centric episode. So if you're interested in that, that's waiting
Holy
over for you.
shit.
There's also a God of War spoiler cast, and just kind of like a retrospective on the whole series in general. If you want to check that out, and we also obviously have our writing process for Radioactive up there as well. I'm not gonna list every single episode every time, but it's in the beginnings
Right.
now, so it makes sense to give you
Yeah,
guys
it
an
is.
idea of what's. It makes sense to give you guys an idea of what's going on over there. So I'm going to read our wonderful $25 patrons now. So count me fucking down.
3, 2, 1.
Man, you know what's crazy? I lied. I thought it was ready. I thought it was ready,
Okay.
but I'm not.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
We'll
no, I'm ready now.
We'll restart.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
ready now.
okay,
Count me down.
three.
Dick suck tits. That's where you had
2, 1.
Fuck, I'm not ready. Do it again. Do it one more time.
Oh, okay. We got one more. Are you good? Are you good?
Yeah.
3, 2,
Can we start this again?
1. All right. Okay. All right. 3.
Squishy and his one big
You
cum.
fucking asshole.
The angelic dungeon master making a raid boss for his D&D-like server. That's the Snark Tank podcast. Griffin Brotigam? I mean, welcome. You're new. You're definitely new. This podcast got me laid, and I wanted to pledge the top tier to say thanks. You're welcome, my guy.
Let's
Oh,
go.
that's
Let's go.
awesome.
Congrats.
That's great, dude.
Congrats, man. You know what that means? We could potentially be responsible for an entire human.
Stop.
Oh, yeah.
Don't say that. Shut your stupid ass up. Don't say shit like that ever again.
She's pregnant, man.
Blame me for the fucking kids.
Get her pregnant as like a prank. Don't do that, by the way. Sex. Just sex.
It's just sex?
Just lowercase as well. Craig the Canadian. It's your boy Shawnee D. Anthony Corzo. Matt Walsh is a hero of our time. Sweet baby gang for life. The final apprentice of White Tom Sweeney. He'd been defeated, i.e. ran out of money. Cheer, lads. Come, man. The man of cum. Remember, true bonding with the boys is built on camaraderie, compassion, and commitment. Indie Butterknife. True. Rudolph the red-rumped gay queer. Rudolph with your ass. So that name never changes, but it makes me exhale every time I read it. Rudolph the red-rumped gay queer. Rudolph with your ass so tight. Won't you ride this dick tonight? Andrew Tate's Tasty Taint, now back on Twitter. I feel it in my balls enough to make my dick explode. Doesn't rhyme, but close. 3XO. And the occasional TikTok live stream of profoundly disabled toddlers in third world countries. I've seen those. It's wild. Sweeney, quickly. There's a Twitter account called Sweeney's Guide. Go there to scan the code to see a video. Notice me, he writes.
I'm not gonna.
Coming, slamming, stroking, chugging. It's the gay Daft Punk.
Is that like a... Oh, okay, go. Okay.
No, I mean, I just said that. That's not part of his name, but I have to imagine.
I thought it was a pretty fly for a white guy, you know. Remember how that shit starts?
Coming, slamming, stroking, chugging.
Such
a
that shit
dumb
goes hard.
Song.
It's
emoticons,
dumb. It's stupid.
Emoticons going this way. It's wild. I don't know whether or not to. No, they are going this way because on my screen they're going this way, but mirrored they would be going that way because turning this way would do that. Sorry for the audio listeners that had to endure that. Stormboy's life and what he like. I have no urethra and now I have crayon shards stuck in my dick. Boku no Chinchin Chisai Desu. I don't know what I just said. I probably just said a slur.
That's from 50 Frank.
I know, but I still don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Call her Little Caesars, the way her pussy hot and ready. Drip MH, the Lord of Drip. Nancy Pelosi killing a Palestinian with her massive tits. Obi, won't you blow me? Never mind, Sweeney. I realize you have swamp ass. I'm coming for Chris's butt instead. XOXO Big Papa Shack. Kremlin to Gremlin. Binkus Stinkus. Everyone's favorite pilot, Osama bin Laden.
Damn.
Let's go.
God fucking damn it, dude. Oh, my Lord.
Can you fucking imagine, like, a lion is on a plane? And nope, there's no problem until it like walks to the cockpit.
Until you reveal it's a terrorist.
Yeah, until it reveals like I thought that was just a normal lion on my flight.
I thought that was a guy.
Just sitting in first class.
A first class lion.
Just sitting there like Scooby Doo in the movie where he has a dress on, just
yeah. Oh,
this is a
lion in a dress.
lion.
Oh, fuck. Mitch McConnell's tortoise shell. All's the wall. Okay, you said it right. Abby, welcome to Andrew Tate's Kidnapped Women and Little Dick Emporium. Fragile masculinity sold separately. Justin Wang's glorious mustache should be on the podcast. Sure. Maybe.
Yeah.
Wage Slave 583. Yeah, why not?
That might be in the works already, actually.
Oh, you already talking about?
Government-sanctioned, weaponized femboys. I feel gay. Fuck you. The Papini Brothers Emporium Christmas special. 2 uncles for 1 bullet. Hey guys, I just got a new dog. Can everyone say hello to Zuma for me? This guy's dead.
No.
Hi, Zuma.
Hello, Zuma.
I'm gonna keep saying hi to that dog because I want it to be alive. I pray for it.
The dog's probably fine. This guy's gone though.
Dog is eating that guy's flesh.
The guy's
real sadly though, because you know how dogs don't do it out of happiness. Like a cat will do it that cat will do it in like an hour and a half. A dog will be like,
I'll do it immediately.
A dog's just like, oh man, I don't want to do this.
But I'm hungry.
Hungry.
Turns on the stove and shit.
Turns on the stove. Puts it to bake at 350. God damn. Let me make sure I hit the timer so I know when it's ready.
Stuffs them in the fucking oven.
clothes on and everything. He still has his clothes on.
Just the idea of a dog with almost Airbud level precision fitting a man in an oven and setting it to bake at 350 with a timer and everything is amazing.
And then somebody comes in and he's like, no, then he wakes up and he's like, why am I in the oven? And the dog's just like, I thought you were dead.
I thought you were dead.
I thought you were dead, man. I'm sorry. My bad.
Sorry about my
God damn it,
names.
Bo. Stop it.
Sorry about my names these other weeks. They've been featured on the Snark Tank podcast. That's his name. Nostro dis pater noster alma mater. I don't know what I just said. It's probably an incantation. There's some ring level bitch is gonna crawl out of my screen in like a day or two, I bet.
You're gonna have to deal with a fucking Daedra Lord, a fucking Dremora Lord's gonna fucking try to kill you.
It's Amara from Fear.
A battle approaches as he runs into you with his Daedric longsword. You're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, I can't remember. Was it you who had a Daedra chasing you?
Yeah.
No. Was it no? Someone? No. It wasn't you.
No. It was Jalen. It was Jalen. He summoned an unbound Daedra, and it went and it killed the guy. The guy he dealt with. He left the area, and then like later on, he was playing, and the Daedra ran upon him. He was like, "Oh shit!" He ran away again.
No, I was it him because I remember a story of like somebody using the Wabbajack, and he turned like a piece of cabbage into a Daedra because that's what the Wabbajack did. It just like replaced AI and game assets. So it's basically just like you could turn anyone into anything, but you couldn't pick. It was just random. And he turned this fucking cabbage into a Daedra, and it was chasing him his entire run. But oh god,
I know that Jalen did definitely summon a Daedra.
You're right.
To kill somebody.
That also did happen, but I remember
was
the
just like, oh, dude, very far later on, the Daedra was chasing him, like a months later of gameplay, and it was just found him again. He was just like, what?
Skyrim's wonderful. It is. Okay,
True
what am
that,
I?
true that.
Fun fact: there's a Gran Turismo coming, starring David Harbour and directed by Neil Blomkamp. Have a nice day. That is true. Don't know what the fuck that's going to be about.
I mean, they did Need for Speed, man. Whatever.
With Aaron Paul, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so weird. I forgot about that.
That was a movie. You're right.
Mr. White, I'm going so fast. What
Mr.
do I
White,
do?
I'm dying. Jesse,
What do I do?
hit the brakes, Jesse.
Tell
the
him,
brakes,
Steve. Tell him,
Don't end up like
Steve,
Paul
Dave.
Walker, Jesse.
Andrew Tate is missing because God sex trafficked him back. John Strickland turns out no lie. Yee's album will be called Yitler. His first single called Apologist will come April 20th, 2023. You know what? I could believe that. That doesn't even sound even remotely false.
Me.
Merck's 1889 alternate universe Sweeney, where he's the same in every way except he's also a big Reagan supporter. You'll know your pig is done roasting when he does the Jolly Ollie trademark lungbuster cough. What?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, man. I wish I understood. That seems like something that would really make me laugh if I understood it.
Run these out. I gotta pee, guys. I don't want to wet my pants. Hurry. I'm begging you.
The first Church of Keith David, 2023 approacheth. Hey, Chris, have you ever truly loved someone? I ran over my PTO by getting COVID instead of with my 2003 Silverado. My only symptom is rage. Pre-Roz, solid snake, more like erect cock.
Nice.
Killer.
Blake 896, fucking kill me, Ryan Lucchesi. Oh, dearie me, I've misplaced my jizz in your guts. Sorry. Depraved McBooty Warrior, Bada Baba Booty, La Poopy, which translates roughly to English as the poopy. Yeah, I got that. Blocked by Steve Shives, Alaskan Oilfield Trash, Zorgulon, please remaster my game, Insomniac, Sue Hulk. Danny DeVito is a transvestigator, a.k.a. the Dark Ending. Oh, my God. Do you know about that, Sweeney? The transvestigators? Do you know about that, Derek? You must know, right?
What is that?
So
it sounds familiar, but I don't know.
June used to tweet about them a lot. The transvestigators are the people who believe that everybody is trans. Or they'll have like a conspiracy. They'll have like a conspiracy theory about like, I don't know, fucking Angelina Jolie, and they'll be like, look at her fucking jaw. That's not a fucking woman's jaw.
Jennifer
And
Garner.
then, yeah, and just all these people. They had conspiracy theories about June and me also as well. Like, so that's
you were
that's fucking
trans.
funny. They think everybody's trans. They just think everybody
One of
is.
my ex-girlfriends, dude.
She's a transvestigator?
No. They thought, like, I saw comments in the. She just looks like some regular chick with a big nose, and they're like, "Is your girlfriend trans?" And like, I saw like maybe like 5 comments, and I'm like, "What? Based off of what?" I didn't understand the criteria.
I mean, you a freak like that. You freaky, but like I don't.
Look, man. Let me tell you something.
I wouldn't hide it, bro. I'm not a pussy.
Let me tell you something.
I respect that.
Let me tell you something. I've seen some Twitter accounts that was just like, you know, in the right light.
How you doing?
You know,
exactly.
How you
bro.
doing?
Look, I'm taking, but all I gotta say is that if it's a dude, I think it's different rules.
But you would agree though, right? If you wouldn't want to be a bigot by saying like you wouldn't.
No,
just because
exactly.
you're taken.
I'm fucking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not an asshole. Come on.
I'm just saying for everybody in the world, don't be a pussy, man. Just don't try to hide that shit. Just fucking rock it. Be a man.
That's something that I wish that for real. That's a real moment. I wish that was something that people did more often. I hate the fact that people have to hide parts of themselves in their lives, because being yourself is the first and most basic step into like existing.
I mean, I just don't. Okay.
Oh look, now he's what is a vegetable? Now he's
9,000.
I'm scouting all the. This is how I determine who's trans or not. This is how I determine. I have a scouter. I have a scouter. If you're listening on audio, you're gonna miss this entirely. But.
I hate that way you look with that on right now. Oh my god.
Yeah, you look ravishing. You look extinguished.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Someone should extinguish him.
What was I saying?
I'm finishing the original dub of Vegeta.
The Ocean dub.
Yeah.
With that was Brian Drummond, right?
I think that sounds right.
Correct. That sounds correct.
Yeah. If there's one thing I know a weird amount of things about Dragon Ball Z that I'm not proud that I know. Like every fucking cast, I know every cast member. I feel like probably Danny DeVito is a transvestigator, aka the Dark Ending. The Gout Law, Salty Lemon, Dom Baird stole my N-word pass and connected it to Jack's systems. So the robot's saying it. Oh, that's awesome.
Say the N-word. Stop it, Jack.
Yo, can I say something? Yo, Gears 5.
He says it while Cole's not around. He says when Cole's not around.
So, you know how Gears was a very cooperative game, right? Like, it was a very co-op-centric game. There's this awesome fucking mode in Gears 5 where, like, you can play co-op as other people, but you can also play as Jack. And Jack can like do all sorts of like really dope shit. It's for people who aren't like super good. Like if your girlfriend wanted to play with you or something, you could give it to her, and she's like not into fucking shooters or whatever. She could still help. It's fucking dope as hell. Gears 5 is underrated. I'm gonna say that. Anybody who likes Gears of War should check it out.
I agree.
Lobotomized Jesus, much like Jeffrey Epstein, loves all the little children. Milo turning Kanye gay to destroy the Republican Party. The only stick I touch while driving is my penis, parentheses, I masturbate while driving. I like to chew on Jolly Ranchers.
That's a monster. It's a monster right there.
Freak.
Oh,
That's a
yeah,
monster.
that's fucking nuts. That's
Got
crazy.
strong teeth, though.
That's
Oh,
nuts.
but he maybe has fucked up teeth.
Yeah, you're a weirdo, whoever. That's crazy.
That's just Chris giving to the Patreon himself, and he's just like, I just wanted them to accept me so bad.
Yeah, that's a nutty fucking. That's a really fucking nutty thing to like. I would never.
Poor guy.
Jackson DuPont wrote it. Jackson DuPont as well. Badly
Vegeta.
brave.
These dudes wildin'.
Grandma got ran through by some reindeer. Hugger Derek, the movie theater manager. Aetherian. Chris Gate, my Progerian hunting ass. Melphus 1, Hexblade Warlock supremacist. And as always, King of Haphazard, rounding out our list of top $25 patrons. Thank you guys for your support. Thank you all for the growth that we're seeing lately as well. I'm sure a lot of that is radioactive, but I can't imagine that it's all that. I would have to imagine it's also just the extra stuff we're doing.
Thank you.
So
tell your cool friends about us too.
Yeah, check us out. I don't. I won't say that. I'll save it for the extra. But thanks for popping by, everybody. Check us out over at patreon.com/snarktank and the Snark Tank, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Vegeta, what's the scouter say about the trans level?